I am too. That's why I said that. He knows that.
We argue all the time about that. Hey, everybody. We are here, the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone episode. Yeah. So that's our main topic tonight. We're going to get into all things Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. We're going to stay with one movie. Shocking. You said you had no Harry Potter stuff. I went up and found a scarf. And I'm like, this will work. He came in with his prisoner at Algamon. She came in with her scarf.
Prisoner of what?
Yeah, I was gonna say what? Prisoner of what?
What did I say?
Algamon.
Yeah, Algamon? What is it?
Arcaban or Azkaban. Nick.
You don't get to know that till the third movie.
Yeah, I'm not that far.
That's okay.
I'm not that far.
It's
Cool.
I don't know anything about it yet. I'm still learning.
I feel grossly
Now
unprepared.
Now say what this actually is before we.
This is a Washington football team scarf that my grandmother made, but it's the same color scheme as Gryffindor.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's the same color scheme as Gryffindor. Alexis, what's going on? Thank you for hanging out. We didn't share
Hi,
the
Alexis.
stuff out, so Alexis, if you want to do the honors and share this stream to the Not Cool in High School group, that would be great.
Thank you, Alexis.
And then you can, that'd be awesome. You can help me out. If you put it to the Interviews with Everyday People and the Not Cool in High School group, that would be fantastic. Because we start talking before the show. There's a whole show before the show, and it's like, oh shit, 9 o'clock, we gotta go, and then I hit the button. Like I said, the fun stuff. Check the links below. Follow us on all social media. Go over and check out Instagram and over on the YouTube, and grab some merchandise. Sarah was here today to pick up a movie, and she was wearing a piece of merchandise I didn't know she ordered. She has the Things Not Cool in High School, the original logo. Yeah. So the show used to be called Things That Were Not Cool in High School, and then we just dropped Things That Were Not, and then just went Not Cool in High School.
Then he had me redo all the logos. He's like, hey, guess what? We're changing all the names, so fix it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do like a spin-off maybe one time where we just put that on the merch pages, like the retro logo you can get or something. We'll figure something out someday. But she showed up in a Not Cool in High School pink long sleeve, and I was like, I didn't even know you ordered that. She goes, oh my god, that's awesome. I didn't so it was kind of cool to see your merch in the wild, I guess is
in the wild in your own home.
Yeah. So I didn't even know she ordered it, which was cool. Because the original Things That Weren't Cool in High School, if you ordered that shirt, that was something that we ordered and then hand delivered to you.
Yeah.
That was the early days.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like it was 10 years ago. It was
I
literally
was gonna say, it's just like the milkman comes to your door with the milk every
That's
week.
what we did. We took orders. You PayPal'd me. Then I went to the guy who made the shirts, got the box of shirts, and then would drive from his house all over School County and drop shirts off to people.
Wow.
So thank God for T-Spice.
Thank you, kiddo.
I made more money that way, but it was a pain. It was
but now you have more options though too.
Yeah, you can get a whole bunch of stuff.
You get those masks for your COVID.
Yeah, and then we have some logo spoofs. One that may or may not look like something from Nintendo. I think that's all we have for Not Cool in High School is that one logo spoof.
I know, because it was too long. I could never figure out.
Yeah,
what
just abbreviation stuff. Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm trying so hard to make Harry Potter one.
That would be cool.
But I have no idea what it.
It could just be the Harry Potter font.
No, that's what I mean. But like, I feel like it's got to be like formatted in a way because like Harry Potter's like super bold and in your face, and in the bottom it's all small. So it's just one title.
So the cool thing with this show, right, is kind of we have the mascot now, right?
Yeah.
With the me, right? So if we wanted to do something, we can just turn him into Harry.
Oh yeah,
and then
you
put
could.
him
That's true.
put him
Well,
in
you
like,
have an. I mean, I'm working on another. That's Heidi's profile picture. Is what the one that I'm gonna do next. So I could always turn him into Harry Potter.
yeah, and then it could be like the Not Cool in High School
And then I can send
Harry
it over
Potter
to
one.
you.
And yeah, she's her thing is she's gonna take for this show. She's gonna keep taking embarrassing childhood photos of me and
Oh,
turning
I
them
love
in,
them.
turning them into logos.
They're
So,
absolutely gold.
so we'll just put a
So
little.
is each block eventually going to just have all of you in it?
With,
That
would be
with
funny.
different things.
That would be
Honestly,
really
what I
funny.
think would be fun is I think each block should be a person who is on the show or is a
Cool.
current member of the show.
Very
Oh,
cool.
that's
So
cute.
like digitize you. I mean, if you have a funny, embarrassing older photo, or we could just put you now. It's whatever you want.
Because I'm embarrassing and funny looking now.
Yeah, and we could just add everyone into the blocks
gonna
like
say,
a yearbook picture.
I was gonna say, if you've been on Not Cool in High School or are currently on Not Cool in High School, send me your most embarrassing childhood photo, and I'll put you in there.
Yeah, and that'll be fun. And then maybe we'll have like a like super fans. We'll put in some of them. We'll figure something out.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know if I have a picture like that, but I have a terrible picture of me in an ugly
I'll make-
striped
I'll make-
shirt.
I'll make it
and,
like that.
No,
Terrible,
the photo-
terrible jeans.
The
Terrible
photo,
Send
jeans.
it. That'll
the
be
photo of
perfect.
me was literally just me standing with a bunch of other kids, and she just pulled that image
Mhm.
out of me and then morphed it into that. Like I wasn't even wearing a graduation cap in the actual photo.
Oh.
She did all that,
Mm.
and then the glasses I was wearing, she turned into sunglasses like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the jeans make it bad. That's what. That's
Yeah.
the point.
Oh, the jeans were crazy, and the
They
shirt
were
was like
bad
a
jeans.
yeah, it was great. But no, we'll figure something out. We'll have fun with the logos.
Yeah.
We have very talented people between you two to work
Yes,
stuff out.
you guys are both
Talented
good.
people.
Yeah.
But I insist on a Star Wars. I love
Oh,
Harry Potter, but
nice.
I need Star Wars.
Yeah, we can
Star
we
Wars.
could do different
Lightsaber.
takes. Different takes.
Jedi symbol. I don't know, something with Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
there
That's
we
what I
are.
need in my life.
We can do them all.
It's cool for not cool in high school.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So check out the like I said, we have the old school logo, then we have the new logo. You can get the logo that way, or you can get it just we call them the Lady Killer. We
Lady
have- yeah.
killer.
There is another Lady Killer image that we had up and then we took down. And there's like a heart around them, but I think I'll put that up for like Valentine's Day or something.
Yeah. That's cute.
Yeah. So we have some cool stuff, and then I think that's it. So when it comes to news, we'll start with you, Nikolai. What have you found since last week that caught your eye or you want to bring up? Was it now when we say the news, this can be you came across a movie trailer, you heard that a new album, new music's coming out, or new books coming out, or a new TV shows. It could be someone passed away, somebody anything. It could be anything pop culture related.
Okay. So does Bloomsbury Fair count as pop
Sure.
culture? Okay. So obviously it's canceled because of the virus. But I found out some cool things about that. A bunch of the food stands are on Route 11 up by Bloomsburg doing their thing. I went up and got a pizza from Denny and Pearl's Pizza that I always get at the fair every year. So there's a bunch of those stands that you love from the fair just on Route 11.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I highly recommend.
So like the thing with the Bloomsburg Fair, I know a lot of people. They put the dude that dressed. They said it wasn't that, but I mean, if you watch it, they were taking a shot. At our, I don't even what is she
Secretary
like
Levine.
Secretary.
Health Secretary Levine.
Yeah, I follow Zero Politics, so I don't know people's names, but
Mhm.
Secretary Levine is someone is trans, and they put somebody that they dress a dude up to look like her,
Oh,
and
that's
mean.
mean.
And then when they got called out for it, they're like, oh, well, that's
And
not.
it was
what
in the dunk tank.
They're like, that's
Oh,
not what we
that's really
intended.
disrespectful.
But also, the Bloomsburg Fair would put a racist clown in the dunk tank, and he would say everything offensive to the point so you played the game. So it's something that's been
It's a
done
shtick.
before at the Bloomsburg Fair.
Not saying it's
Um,
right or wrong, but it's a shtick.
It's a stick, yeah. When you're in a dunk tank, you probably you want to offend the person to pay the dollar to put you in the water. That's the not right or wrong. I'm not agreeing with it, but that's what they did. And everybody was like, "We'll cancel the Bloomsburg Fair. That shouldn't be a thing anymore." And I was thinking, all right, that in a initial knee jerk reaction, that's the right thing, maybe. But then you think about it, you know how many mom and pop businesses are food trucks
Yeah.
make really good money so you're gonna take away money from someone like a local business.
Just don't have the dunk tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Or have
would think
somebody
it-
new run the dunk tank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just be like, hey, well, fuck them, but we're still going to go support small business there.
Yeah.
So if you want to go support that small business, you're saying that the food trucks
yes,
are all
they
up there.
are on. I don't know how many of them are there, but on my drive there was definitely a good handful of them.
It's funny if you go to a city and people see food trucks, they're like, we're not eating at that food truck. And in like our area, some of the best food comes out of food trucks.
Yep.
We're all about the food trucks here.
Yeah,
Give us
Oh,
the
yeah.
food trucks.
yeah, bring all of the food trucks.
Yeah.
Fun fact, food truck in the area, my pop's place, I did their logo.
Really?
It's the crab with my pop's place in it. Yeah, they're my
Nice.
cousins.
Cool.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Mhm.
There's just so many good ones. I actually look forward to like social events or stuff like that in our area because like we're gonna have food trucks. It's
food
like,
trucks, yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell, because we live in a podunk area, so it's like when we get food trucks, it's like, oh my god, dude! It's like,
Yeah. Any other?
So last night I found out that Teen Titans Go. I don't really watch that show. But they made an announcement that there's going to be a Halloween special coming out. I think it's next Monday, I want to say. But there's going to be a special appearance in the show. Beetlejuice is going to show up, and it is voiced by Alex Brightman, who is such an amazing actor and who actually played Beetlejuice in the musical on Broadway.
oh, sick. Okay, that's where I knew
so
that voice.
I'm
or that
really
name.
excited.
Are they ever gonna put like that theater show on DVD so you can see what?
I hope so.
Oh, it's so good.
It
I
is-
haven't seen it, but it just.
It was wonderful.
Oh my
I seen one musical
my
act they did
God.
on the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Okay, so I have to tell you this. Any of those parade type things that they do, or like the award shows and stuff, he's recorded that song so many times in so many different ways. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
There's no better experience, at least in my mind, than sitting in that theater
Oh
and
my
watching that
God.
whole show come to life.
Yeah.
And like personally for me, I thought like I'm a big fan of the movie, but the show fixes so many plot holes that I thought that you didn't really realize when watching the movie, but then you're like seeing the musical. It's
Were
like
you on the episode
oh.
where we talked about Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
We learned a lot about that. Like when we did like the cool thing about doing topics again, like how we're gonna do Harry Potter and like to start it off because this is episode 70, so this is like our reboot episode. Like we're getting another reboot. But when we all went and did the research for Beetlejuice, like we found out so much stuff about a movie that I've watched a million times that I didn't even know was like that whole movie was rewritten because
Oh.
the first time it was written, it was a lot darker and scarier and gorier, and it was all redone. Like Lydia
Well, it was Tim Burton, so.
yeah, Lydia was actually the reason she was so obsessed with the darks and the other world and ghostly things is because she was trying to channel her dead mother because she was grieving.
See,
Oh.
that's how the musical is.
And she was actually
Where-
she was contemplating killing herself
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
to go to the
To
other
go-
realm to see her mother.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then
And
gets
actu-
manipulated by Beetlejuice.
Huh.
And that they take on that in the play and in the
Oh,
musical.
interesting.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know
Um,
that. But
and
Yeah.
I
like
didn't either.
even the Maitlands, like they die in the movie on the bridge, where in the musical they die in the house.
Mhm.
So it makes sense that they're haunting the house.
And the bridge
Yeah.
scene, the bridge
Right. It's not something you really think about when you watch the movie, but then when you
Yeah.
see the play, you're like,
because you're
wait a
watching the movie and
minute.
it's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
and Beetlejuice. So if you think about it, everyone who works in the afterlife as a social worker, like a servant or a like thing, how did they get stuck with that job? Do you remember?
No, I haven't seen this movie in years.
So everyone
was very young.
who was in the afterlife, if they were stuck doing a job like they were at, like how we would call like a government worker or a DMV worker, they were all people of suicide. They killed themselves.
Oh, that I
Oh.
do remember that you
And
mentioned
if
that.
and then when you talk about Juno, she said I used to work with Beetlejuice. So there was a whole backstory where Beetlejuice actually killed himself. He was a struggling comedian who hung himself because his wife was cheating on him, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Oh.
And in the musical, they do it a little different. Juno is his mom.
Oh really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's so much other about Beetlejuice that like you didn't realize until you do the research. You know who was supposed to play Beetlejuice?
Who was supposed to?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Really?
Yeah,
Now who is
from
who
the
is-
Rat Pack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Hey, man. Like,
yeah. It was actually they were trying to cast Sammy Davis Jr. and he was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And
Too
then-
dark for
and
him,
then,
I guess.
And then Michael Keaton stepped in. Yeah,
I can see why Michael Keaton would. He plays like Batman, like I think.
and he was a good
roles.
method actor, and he
Yeah.
didn't, he had no problem going under the makeup or being a character.
hmm
He's a
Mhm.
great character actor. Yeah, it's fun. So
Interesting.
he's gonna voice
Beetlejuice
Beetlejuice
again.
again.
Yes.
Yeah.
But on Teen
That's
Titans
cool.
Go, so I'm actually gonna watch that.
I fucking
That's so cool.
love Beetlejuice. It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies. I love the model scene. I can watch that scene on loop. I mean, because he's like when they all meet him in the model.
hmm
He's like, we
Oh,
dress
yeah.
the same. We go to the same store.
Yeah.
and he cops the feel on his
He's
wife.
like,
Yeah. And then they go away, and then she picks him up to squish him, and he pricks her with the thing, and
Yeah.
then
Hey,
Then
what are
she-
you doing? What are you doing?
yeah, and then nice fucking model. Yeah. And
So-
then
I don't remember. Did we ever talk about that the model was just left behind, like after they were done filming and stuff? It was just found in one of the houses.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
See, I would leave that there because that's 100% cursed. If you're actually gonna make that for like a multi-million-dollar movie and then leave it there, I'm not gonna be the one to pick it up.
Oh,
I don't think so.
I would put that in my living room.
Yeah, I'd take it home too.
And then Juno puts the whorehouse in. He goes, "We're gonna get a little election."
And this is the blinking like girls,
And he
girls,
starts
girls.
dancing. Hey. So they're like, "Come on in, Beetlejuice." Such a good fucking movie. And then like the movie,
I had a little accident.
when they showed the movie, the title on the movie is different from what's in the movie. Like they spelled his name two different ways. Like they spelled it from the constellation, then they spelled it like beetle, then juice. So like they didn't and they didn't figure that out until the movie actually went out. Like because if you watch certain scenes, like his tombstone or when he
Yeah.
does the commercial, like Beetlejuice, 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 it's spelled almost. It's spelled different ways in the movies because when they were shooting it, they're like, "This is the way we're going to spell it," and then they're like, "No, it's going to be Beetlegeist, like the constellation."
Star in the
Yeah.
constellation.
Yeah, so it was,
Does anybody know the collaboration between his name being the star in Orion?
I do not.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
That's something to look into at some point, maybe. I'll probably do it just because I'm in love with Orion and space,
yeah,
as we know.
yeah. You're out there
I'm out there, just like the truth.
behind illusion. So what do you got? What news have you came across or anything interesting?
Well, first I could talk about the updates for Animal Crossing
yeah,
that
yeah,
we're getting tonight. They're very good.
Well, that's tonight.
Yep, tonight. Actually, 9:00. They're supposed to be coming on. So for all of us,
Turn your
Animal-
switches on.
that's
Not right now. Wait till after the show.
Wait.
Yes. Watch the rest of the show first. So we're gonna get some new like emotions to show. That's a new thing for Animal Crossing. We did not have haunt emotions before, but now we do. You
Is there
can,
gonna be like where you can scare people?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I may jump back in Animal Crossing. Quick question for you.
yes.
How the fuck do you scuba dive?
When you go for the sea creatures, you swim with Y and then go underneath with A, and then you have to wait until you see a shadow.
Do you
and
do
then,
it on your island, or you have to go to a different island to do it?
Oh, you can do it on your island. You can do it on Nook Island.
So do you have
can
to
do
be
it on
in
Friends
the outfit?
Islands. Oh yeah, you need your wetsuit,
Okay, so
and you have to buy it from Nook.
So when you put the wetsuit on, do you have to put the snorkel on too?
You don't have to.
You just need the wetsuit on.
You just need the wetsuit.
And then when it'll let you walk into the water then.
yeah, you can walk into the water. You could do a little jump, or you could do a fancy jump.
Okay.
With
so,
lots of
so the
flips.
whole time I was like, how do I do this? I haven't figured it out yet.
Fancy jump. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's like a double flip.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
you
so
have to
cute.
like run and jump off like the pier or like one of the rocks.
Oh, that's cute.
I
See,
just-
I don't
I
play
just
Animal
mastered
Crossing,
it.
so like
Yeah, I
hearing
don't
that,
either.
it's just like, oh, that's so cute. Fancy jump.
It's a very fun game.
It is fun. It's really cute. You get to be like a little person. You live with little cute animals.
Mhm.
I love it. I've been playing
We've
it since
done
it
some
first came
crazy.
out.
When it first came out, we had like a little private Facebook group,
That's adorable.
and then we had like,
I love that
and then
kinda
we'd be
shit.
like, hey, my island's open. Everyone come, and like we helped each other. Like the first thing in the game was like we all have to find the fruit because there's like 6 different fruit or
Yes.
5 different
Mhm.
fruit.
Mhm.
So we're like, oh, my island has this fruit and yours doesn't. So we'd bring the fruit over and we give it so that we could plant it in their
Aw.
island so it grows.
Yeah.
Like we were helping each other out like crazy. Like it was a really,
Mhm.
and then like because it was like it came out at the perfect time at the beginning of COVID.
I was gonna say, I was like, I didn't play it, but like as I learned what it was through my friends, I was just like, what a brilliant time for like the makers and creators to like actually come out with it. It was like
Yeah.
right in the beginning of COVID.
Steve's we talked about this on the show before, but Steve's daughter was supposed to have a birthday party at Roller
Mhm.
Roost, and then
Yeah.
because of COVID, Roller Roost shut down, and she couldn't have her birthday party.
Aw.
So we actually had like an Animal Crossing's birthday party on her island. Like her and her mom went and played and
so
decorated the entire island for her birthday, and then we all came to the island and celebrated her birthday and gave her gifts.
That's so cute.
She loved it. She loved
Oh my
every minute of it.
goodness,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
Such a cool, like I will never I haven't had a video game experience like that ever.
That's so cute. Oh my god.
Yeah, such a neat and like the way like I didn't even know this too. Like when you play the game, so say if like in their household they only have one Switch, so when they put the game in, each profile can make so you all share the same island,
Mhm.
but each one of you have your own like chores to do for the day. So like Steve's entire family, him and his daughters and his wife, all play Animal Crossing on the same system,
Mhm.
and like you can do split screen and still play as your island and do your like it's a I didn't
So
yeah
cool.
Yep, it's fun.
That's fun.
yeah
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
it's neat.
cute.
That's really
One of the
fun.
best games ever.
Mhm.
And this is, I think, this is the first time Animal Crossing came out not being fully complete. Every other time, of course, it came out complete. So what they do is they add additions to the game throughout updates.
Yeah.
Kind of like DLC, but not really. It's just automatically updated. But every other time the game came out fully complete.
Mm-hmm.
It's been coming out since GameCube. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
GameCube.
Well, the game since they came out in GameCube and then took a while break, and then it
Mm-hmm.
kind of made appearances on handhelds, right?
Yep, handhelds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now in this generation where you can make a game, so they made like the base game, and they're like, all right, listen, we're in a generation now with the internet where we can put this game out. This is going to be good enough for at least a year, but we can add stuff to it like holiday events, because like
Mm-hmm.
events in games are a big deal. Where like a game comes out and you're like, all right, it's Halloween time. We're gonna really completely reskin our game to make it look like a Halloween theme.
Yep.
So that's kind of like Animal Crossing took that up,
Okay.
and I think this is the second event we've had, or is it third?
It should be the third. Yep.
What was the second one? 4th of July.
Yeah, but it was in kind of August because they were a little bit behind with some things. I guess
It wasn't super elaborate though. Like this is
No.
the second big elaborate event.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was
very
Easter,
elaborate. Mhm.
and then this will be Halloween now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
really
during
cute.
the event, there's special items that are only in the game
Mm-hmm.
at that time. So like the other one was eggs, but there was like 5 different types of eggs, and then you
Yes.
use those eggs to make blueprints to get items that you couldn't get any other time in the game. Like there was like it was like 20 different items.
Yeah, 20, 25,
So
I
then
would say.
we were all working together to try to help each other get the items to finish the blue, like because you only have
Okay.
a certain time in the game to get everything done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of starting tonight. From now till maybe probably 4 weeks is when it's going to be like the Halloween time, where
Right.
you have the entire month to get whatever the special Halloween items are. So like if you only play the game for event time, now is the time to jump back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a really
It
Interesting.
is. It's
Yeah.
very fun.
It's very involved and like very fun.
I can
Like,
definitely
It
see
is.
our Animal Crossing group blowing back up again
I
to
would
help
love
each other.
that.
Yeah, we should try to get
Yeah.
it going again. Hey,
think
Halloween
so.
time, guys! Let's go in there and help each other out.
Yes.
That's
and
really cute.
there's a lot of good things coming out. So you get the haunt emotion. You can also walk really slow like a zombie too.
Adorable.
Yes. So then you're gonna get new like face paint, I guess. So you can change your like skin
Yeah.
to look like purple, white, green.
Like a skeleton face, probably.
Yeah.
Like costumes.
Yep, you'll be able to buy costumes. I've been collecting costumes slowly throughout the year. If you've been like really paying close attention, you can get like I have like a bones costume.
Hmm.
You can get animal costumes, but I think they're gonna put out new ones because
And
I
they-
saw like 3 witch costumes already.
And they
Oh,
do like
cool.
very close to the original, but not the same when it comes to certain things in Animal Crossing too. So they've since the
Disney.
game has been out, they have like
so they
Dis-
don't get copyright
yeah,
struck.
like you
Yes.
can get the Disney princess dresses.
Yes.
Aw.
You can get the Power Ranger outfits.
Yes.
That's cool.
Sailor Moon, I think.
Yep. Sailor Moon.
Stop, I love
I have
that.
them all.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
So it looks almost identical to what
Mhm.
it is. And then there's a thing where people actually make the stuff,
Yes.
and then you find them online and then use their QR code,
Mhm.
and then you can download other people's creations.
Yes, you could.
That's
do that
fun.
Too.
Yeah, like people made like the Chucky sweaters and stuff like that. Like,
That's cool.
or you can put
That's
like
cool.
paintings in your house of the people's QR codes. Like some people like made stuff and you can like put it in your world.
Mhm.
It's come a long way in a short period of time.
That's awesome.
It really has.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get like 3 different witch dresses for like costume wise. You might be able to change up your hair for Halloween. They didn't show that part yet, but I'm imagining if you can change like your skin, you could probably change your hair because you have to go into a mirror to do that.
Yeah.
So now we're finally going to get to plant pumpkins because we're going to get Halloween DIYs. So I think this is going to, like, for a while now, we've been talking about how it'd be great to grow vegetables and cook. So I think this is going to be the first thing, like, to step to that in that direction. Because now you're going to be able to buy pumpkin seeds from Nook every day and also from Leaf. He's a little sloth that comes and sells,
Aw.
like, plants and...
Is that you think the pumpkins are gonna stay in the game?
I think they will, yeah. I don't know if they're going to make it seasonal like Harvest Moon does. For anybody who plays Harvest Moon, it's a farming simulation, and they have plants that are seasonal, and pumpkins are only available in the fall. And Harvest Moon and Stardew
They
Valley.
need to expand everyone's island though. They need to make the islands a little bigger.
Yes, I agree with that. So I wonder if that will come. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but hopefully, because I have been seeing that people, like when Nintendo announces the updates, I've been reading some of the comments. People are asking to have like a cart in. There's like 2 little porcupine sisters that have like a tailor shop and they sell clothes so you can buy your
Aw.
outfits. Yeah, they're really cute.
That's really cute.
But you can only buy one outfit at the time. You have to go into the fitting room, try your outfit on, come out, go into the fitting room. So if you want to buy like 5 outfits that day, which that's what I do. My closet is full of outfits. But I have to go in like 5 times.
Yeah.
But people are complaining they want to put it all in their like cart at one time. We've had this discussion on the
Yep.
show before. So people are asking for that kind of update. They're asking to stack items. We've talked about that on the show
Yep.
before because you can't really stack items unless it's like mining things like rock.
You mean like physically stacking things?
No,
In
like
the pockets.
so when you have
Oh, okay.
if you carry 10 pieces of wood instead of having 10 pieces of wood, it's just one wood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it says like times 10.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Some
Okay.
things you can do and then some things you can't, and the things you can't is like really frustrating. Or
Mhm.
they only stack to a certain number. It's like, can't you just
Yes.
make it 99 so it, like you
Mhm.
can just put
Mhm.
everything in your inventory?
It's like the gold in Skyrim where it's
Yeah.
just like
Yes.
22 like 22,000 gold. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I
You
see
can
what
only
you're saying.
stack to 30.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's much
I would
smaller.
like
Yeah.
I would like people's creations to be in the shop too, without
I
using
do.
the
I
keyword.
agree.
They're already in the game, like they're in a database. Just put that database on the store, so when you can go in, you can browse like what's the most downloaded thing right now, or
Mhm.
search by
Like
what
Apple.
people like Batman, and then everything that's ever been tagged under Batman could be in people's thing. Like I think that should be a thing in the game too. That'd be a big thing, and expand
Yes.
your island. We're at the point where I think a lot of people have paid off most of their island. So give
Mhm.
us another loan, and they'll be like, "Hey, we can expand," and then like they
Yes.
can add another layer to your island, and
Yeah.
more
Oh, wow.
villagers will be cool.
Yes, because in past games you've been able to have 15 villagers, but here you can only have 10 because they want you to be able to have space for decorations to get your like your island rating up to a 5, and they
I've
want.
not done that yet.
Oh, I've done that. So lots of decorations, lots of flowers.
Yeah, I just been lazy. I went and spent like some money in real money, and I got these bootlegs. So they
Yes, you
sell
did.
these
Yeah.
cards, like
Mhm.
Animal Crossing cards, and then they work on your system. You tap the card, then that villager comes to your island, and then
Mhm.
you can recruit that island to like. So if you want a special villager, so I found this on Etsy. Like these people bootleg those cards,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm missing one of them. I can't find where it is. Do you still have one, or you brought it back?
I brought all yours back.
I just don't remember where I put it then. But they are fucking tiny, so I might have put it somewhere and not remember. But I had to look for it. But I have these cards, so like if someone gets the game and they're like, "Oh, there's this really like I wanted this demonic looking coconut bunny,"
She has a soul,
she does not.
and she's so beautiful.
She literally
Hmm.
has a coconut head
She's so cute.
and
I love
just
her.
dark black soulless eyes.
Aw.
Like there's nothing. It just she looks like just a walking coconut. And, I was,
She's
and
so
she's so
sweet.
creepy looking,
I
but I
love
like her. Yeah. She's-
Coco.
yeah.
Aw.
So and then we like exchange the people, and we have them like our favorite people on the island. It's fun. It's a good game.
And there's Lucky. He's like a mummy dog.
I have him on
Oh,
my
okay.
island
I
too.
have him too.
Yeah.
And then there's Cherry, which we both have. Do you
Yep.
still have Cherry?
Yep.
I
She's
yeah.
like a punk rocker dog.
Yep.
Aw.
So, yeah, she's fun.
Yeah.
And then there's like a punk rocker rabbit that I want to eventually get, Tiffany. Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other news?
So you get the pumpkins, and you'll get to DIY like pumpkin scarecrows, all kinds of crazy Halloween stuff. You can do your house up in Halloween colors. Oh, we're gonna get Jack. We talked about Jack before. If you have never met Jack in Animal Crossing, because you haven't been playing Animal Crossing since middle school like me, he is a little. So he has the grumpy sounding voice because there's different personalities for the villagers too,
Oh yeah.
and they have like different sounding voices. So he has a grumpy sounding voice. He's like a big pumpkin head. He kind of looks like Sleepy Hollow, the guy the
Oh,
guy in
okay.
Sleepy Hollow. And he has like a purple cape. He's really cool. On Halloween, you have to get one piece of candy for each of your villagers. You have to give them candy, or they will quote unquote haunt you. So what happens? I don't know because I've always given my villagers candy. I've never risked not giving
That's a
them
spiritual
candy.
sacrifice right there.
Yes,
An
so-
offering.
So if you don't give them candy, I don't know what will happen. I don't know if it hurts your relationship with the animals because you have to I guess you can choose not to, but if you like your villagers like me, I try to have a good friendship with them, and then I try to gain all their pictures that you hang up in their house. That's what I'm currently working on because I am crazy. So I try to have all their little like pictures. Which
She's super into it. She
That's
really likes
that's
it.
awesome though.
I do. I love it. I'll show you some pictures like on a break. I don't know if I
Yeah.
still have them. But you like if you have the high friendship with them, they'll give you like a little picture that you can hang in their house of them, and that has like it
Aw.
tells you what their astrological sign is.
That's adorable.
It is.
Do you have a Switch?
No.
Oh, this would be right up your alley.
I think I think you would like it, and then it will have like their favorite quote on it. So like the latest one,
That's
I
so
got
wholesome. Like
it is. So the one that's fresh in my mind, I just got Julian's. He's a blue little unicorn. He has smug personality, and his I forget his sign, but his sign or his favorite saying is, "Why trot when you can run?" So they
Aw.
have like cute little things like that, and you just hang it up in
see,
your
and
house.
then my brain just goes, he's smug, probably a Virgo.
Yeah.
I actually
kidding.
like really like the smug, and so the female version of smug is like snobby or something. But they're my two favorite personality types.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the one person you had on your island that you hated and you tried to get them out so bad?
Oh my God, Eunice. I hated her so much. She had a normal personality, which like. Coco is a normal personality. But
We don't like normal people.
well, what her problem was, this particular normal villagers, and you'll see certain villagers, doesn't matter what their personality is, come and just like stir the pot and they start drama. Well, she was starting fights with all my villagers. And I lost Ken, which now Ben like loves Ken. He has Ken in his village. He's also smug. But like
But like, if someone says they're going to leave, you could just be like, no, and they don't leave.
you could,
Yeah.
yeah, but he was like so upset. Like Ken was so
Sorry.
upset and he wanted to leave.
Your lease ain't up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. That's what you could say. But I let him go.
Pretty much just say, well, please don't leave. I like you. And they go, really? You like me?
All
I'll stay.
right.
Yeah.
And-
Pretty much you're
Aw.
like, no, you're not leaving.
And that's usually what happens, but there is a small percentage where they could choose to leave anyway.
Really?
Yep, a very small percentage.
I turned my game on just to see. 'Cause I thought the Halloween thing came like a couple days ago, and I turned
Yeah.
on and I had roaches all over my house. I had to go stomp all the roaches
Oh
out.
yeah, you do. Yeah, if you don't play, I think it's 30 days or longer. Yeah, the
My hair was
disgusting
all
cockroaches.
my hair
Yes.
was all a mess and stuff.
In the old games, you would have to go to the hairdresser, which is a poodle, and she would have to fix your hair. You'd have to pay her to fix your hair, or
Really?
else it would stay that way. Yeah,
Nice.
so we're hoping she comes back. Yeah.
I wear a luchador costume.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I change my outfit every day.
I would. I would. I'd be like, hmm.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. So, trying to think if there's any other. So you're gonna get Jack. You have to get Candy. He comes for Halloween. Oh, and you're gonna have to do like crafts for him to get the Halloween furniture set.
The way the Easter one went is once you collected all the 20 special items, you then report it back to the person who was running it, which was this bunny, which may or may not have been a human because everyone on the island except you is an animal, and this bunny had a zipper on the back.
Yeah.
So we think it was like a human inside of a
Oh.
costume.
Interesting. Well, Easter
So when
egg
you
in
went to
there.
the bunny and it said, and it goes, oh, you collected all the items. Then they gave you a blueprint and gave you the special item. And then once you finish that special item, it's like, we have one more special, and you got 2 more from him from completing all the challenges. Yeah.
Oh,
It
neat.
was fun. It was a good time.
It's a lot more than I originally like thought it was. I was just like, oh, okay, like you farm maybe and
Yeah.
you do this and that. No, that's really involved. That's interesting.
And you can only do so much stuff each day. So the
Mm-hmm.
game kind of makes it like you have to come back every day and do a little bit.
To
Wow,
keep
that's
you invested
brilliant
and
marketing.
involved.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant marketing.
We always thought Zipper or Zip, I can't remember the Easter
I think
Bunny's
it's
name.
Zip, yeah.
Zip. We always thought it was Tom Nook actually dressed up, but when you go inside the resident buildings, he's in there. So
Yeah.
that was a joke for a long time though. In old games, like my friends and I who have played Animal Crossing for years always joked that it was Tom Nook, but in this game, I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So is there any other news topics?
The other news I was gonna say, like we were talking, I think last podcast that we were wondering if PlayStation was going to cancel some of its pre-sales. Well, they did. It was announced today
Yeah.
that they pulled some of their resales back because of retailers overselling their systems. So that did happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can kind of add on a little bit of my
Yeah.
news to kind of go add on to that. So we talked last week also about the big Bethesda buy,
Yes.
and we said, maybe you won't have to go out and buy an Xbox if you're a PlayStation person because maybe it'll be exclusive. It won't be exclusive. It'll be to everything. And it's kind of weird that we even have this conversation because if it was Sony that bought Bethesda, it wouldn't even be an afterthought. Like Bethesda would 100% be only exclusive to PlayStation. But because Xbox is the one buying it, it's kind of a nod to the company saying there may be a possibility they do let this go because they did it with Minecraft, they did it with this. But kind of looking into it a little more and researching it, I think if you're if you're a PlayStation only and you don't buy both systems and you want to play the new Fallout or the new Skyrim or the new space version they're making or the new Doom or anything like, I think they may go exclusive because if you think about it, I was kind of looking at the numbers. Like when it comes to like Microsoft versus Sony as companies, right? Microsoft has trillions of dollars to play around with. They're not gonna take a huge they won't make enough money to just make them exclusive to their system and not include the PlayStation brand. But they really want to sell that Game Pass. So if if you don't, right? So you're a PlayStation user and you want to play those 5 games at $60 a piece. So like let's say after taxes you're gonna be, or even maybe bump up to $70, right? So for $70 you want 3 of those games. Let's just say you ran into like close to 100, right? The new Xbox is gonna cost you $299 for a brand new system. You buy for the set the S. The S is
Oh.
$2.99.
Okay.
So if you
Which
buy
is crazy.
if you
Yeah.
buy the
Mhm.
S, right, and then you bundle that with Game Pass, you would now get every single Bethesda game. So if you wanted to play all 7 of those, instead of paying $70 7 times, you buy it just like you take that number in half, buy the new system, pay for and those games. It's a cheaper buy. So keeping it exclusive may bring more people over to the Xbox platform.
It's very smart.
And also, most gamers now, and I know this doesn't really apply for like you or like Andy or most of this table, even me. Most gamers though, if they have a gaming, like extreme gamers, they have a gaming PC and they usually pick a console. But now most of them they're PC players and they also own a PlayStation because there's really no need to have an Xbox console when you're a PC player
Mm-hmm.
because that whole ecosystem is already on the PC. And PC gaming is just as big, if not as big as that anyway. So if you just say, hey, you want to play the new Bethesda games, you need to have PC and be in the Xbox ecosystem or have an Xbox. I don't think they're losing that much money. I think you're driving more people over to a new system. So I think it may be a very high possibility that Bethesda sticks with only Xbox, which is interesting. I think the past titles will stay where they are, but I think going forward, I think they are going to honor their contracts with Deathloop and another game that's coming out. They're like, hey, it's going to be on both systems. But I think when the next heavy hitters come, I think they're going to stick only exclusive with Xbox, which is going to be pretty interesting. That was just my opinion. I just don't know. I could be wrong, but I think if you want to play the Bethesda games in the future, I think you're going to have to be an Xbox player.
They'll be like, we'll give you Skyrim if you give us Spider-Man.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing
Oh,
too.
God.
Is this is where we talked about that, right? And it was like, this is where I said like, if you're gonna hold Spider-Man over people's heads and take him out of a multi-platform game, you're playing with fire, because you're working with a $1 trillion company who'll be like, oh, you're gonna cause a storm for a character and you're gonna take him off our platform. Bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like Skyrim? So like, and I don't want the gaming industry to turn into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the same token, as an Xbox player and someone who owns Game Pass, that Game Pass is a much better value now, because now we just went to 25 studios where I don't have to pay for any of those games.
Yep.
And even if Xbox can't buy the full studio, they reach out to studios being, hey, we'll throw you a couple bucks if you put your game on our Game Pass day one. So that purchase, it does suck that it's going exclusive to one platform.
Yeah.
But like, PlayStation drew the line and kind of took a shot over the line and said, hey, Insomniac Games, you made exclusive Xbox for PlayStation. Why don't you jump ship, come over to us and make the Spider-Man game? And Xbox is like, oh, you're going to poach our people? We have more money than you know what to do with. Like, we will buy everything. And I do think they're going to buy more studios. There is a insane rumor out there that they may be eyeing up Sega. They may pick up Sega. Because here's the thing, like the WB game thing, people are kind of saying like WB is going to stay where they are now, but it's not officially done. Right, so who knows where WB game goes? I think they won like $5 billion to buy WB Games. I mean, they just dropped 7 on Bethesda. They're a $1 trillion company. That's not. It's like, all right, WB Games come like, but I do think before early next year, maybe the end of this year, I think you're going to see Xbox announce maybe 2 or 3 more studios. I think that's what's going to happen. I think I don't know, and like I said, as a Game Pass user, that just makes it great for me because I don't have to pay for all those games. I like the fact that I can put a game in. If I don't like it, it's like, oh, it didn't cost me anything. Delete, move on.
That's what I've been doing lately, because I recently got Game Pass because of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking through. I'm just like, oh, I like this one. It's like, I don't really like this one, but it's okay because it didn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's interesting. It's really interesting. And then people are like, well, does PlayStation respond, and do they go pick up a major title? And I don't think they can, because Sony is a big company, but they're not on the scale of a Microsoft. So what Sony's trying to do is and I think this is kind of why Xbox is like, all right, cool, you want to play these games? We'll go take one of the biggest titles, is because PlayStation is doing a thing now where they're saying, hey, we will put like the Square Enix and all these different, we'll pay you X amount of money. We're not gonna put it towards your game. We're not going to put it towards your studio, but we'll whatever you want to do with the money, go do. But we want you to just not put the game on that system for a year. So they're pretty much trying to say like, we're doing everything in our power to make sure they don't go to the Xbox for at least a year or two. And then Xbox turns around and buys it, and they're like, well, are you going to at least put Skyrim on our system? And be like, you're not playing really good ball either, so why should we? It's one of like, and it's becoming a tit for tat thing. And like I said, in a nutshell, it sounds cool, but this can end to a really ugly thing for pro consumer. Like it's actually going to be, it could possibly drive the battle lines even further apart, saying, now if you want to play a Marvel game, Marvel may just be BC only, and if you want to play a DC, and I don't want that to be a thing. Right. But if this is the way that they're doing business, where it's like, we'll pay money for you not to put Final Fantasy over here, and they're like, oh, so you're only going to give them money just to not put our game on, but it'll come back in 2 years. We have more money than you. We'll just buy that fucking studio, and you will never get it ever. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want that to be like, I'm not. Like, I know the Sony fans, not you guys at the table, but there were Sony fans who were waving that flag like, we got Spider-Man exclusive to the Marvel game, which was garbage anyway, for the most part. And now it's just like, Xbox is like, we have Bethesda. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to wave that flag, because it does suck for people who are fans of those games that they may have to go out and buy another piece of hardware to play it.
Yeah.
And I think this is just the beginning. Like, I think it's going to get to the point where gaming console may get to the point where it's like, if you only want to play these games, they're here. Because it's getting to the point now where it's like, do we build a studio from the ground up and hope it works? Or do we already go see what they already have established and just throw the money at them and make them join our team? And gaming's getting there.
Yeah.
And it may happen in like it happens with the movie industry. But imagine if, like, now that everything's going streaming service, oh, you want to see this movie? Oh, you have to join our streaming service to watch it.
Yep.
Like,
No.
it's
Exactly.
I won't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not paying that extra $30, Disney. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
yeah. So it is in a retro. It sounds good, you know what I mean? But it's just like, it's tough. It's that Pandora's box I warned episodes ago about that Marvel game. I said, it sounds cool, and it says we got Spider-Man and you don't. No, poo poo. But now it's like. Would you rather not have Spider-Man in your game so everyone else can enjoy him, or would you rather have Skyrim now at this point?
I'd rather Skyrim.
You know what I mean?
Same. I love Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because I just play PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like I'm
Well, and the Switch.
and I don't want to sound like a super fanboy here, but it's like, if you're telling me right now, for the same price, I could buy a stronger system, because the argument now that Xbox doesn't have games is no longer valid, because it may take a while for those games to come, but Xbox has 25 exclusive studios now to PlayStation's 9 or 15, let's give them credit, say 12, 15. So the idea of them not having games coming is null and void. That's not going to be a thing anymore. And then if they keep buying more studios, holy shit. So it really comes down to the games you want. Well, now my argument before was, if you're more of an online player and like to communicate and play with people, PlayStation's more probably, I would say, the more solo RPG games are the best way to go, and the cinematic games are the best way for you to go when it comes to PlayStation. But now that Bethesda's over in this camp, they're solo RPG games. Like, that's a whole brand. And then they have Obsidian as well, who makes those style of games also. It's definitely, it raises questions to people, like when the new system comes out, especially at the point where you can't really get either one. So whatever one just becomes available first, it's like, well, what do I want here?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that important to me to play The Last of Us 2 and maybe Spider-Man? Or do I want to play Skyrim and Fallout and Halo and Gears and then, like, you know, and on top of it, I buy into their ecosystem where I pay $7 a month and I get them day one for free. Or do I? So if Xbox is coming out with 15 games I'm interested in, and PlayStation has 15 games I'm interested in, but the 15 games that PlayStation comes out with, I have to buy all 15 of those day one full price. And Xbox is like, I'm already in your system. I pay the $7 a month or the $60 for the year, so I pay for the price of one game. I get 15.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going where I'm going to get the games I want and not have to pay full price for every single one of them. I just think I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then PlayStation has no, right now, signs of doing that because they financially, I don't think they can. Xbox is like, they look at it like, sure, we're not making the $70 each game, but if we can tie you in for $60 for the next 10 years and we can get 1,000 people to do that, we're going to make more than that $70 because most games don't stay $70 forever anyway. They
Right.
go on sales and then those $70 games now became $20 games. So realistically, you're going to you're not that price tag's not going to last forever.
And it's not something you physically own
Yeah.
either, where you can turn around and then sell, or something else where you're making the profit.
Yeah, and
you're
then
stuck with
Xbox will turn around and say too, like, hey, you like Game Pass, you really like this game. Do you want to support this game? We'll give you a special Game Pass price on this. And they always have deals like this game's now $12. You're like, but if you're a Game Pass or a Gold member, where this game's now $12, you get 20% off, and it's this. Like, so there's a lot of games. Like, my backlog of games is huge because it's like, oh, this game is $12 right now. I could add to cart buy. I'll eventually get around to play it because it was a $70 game 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You know.
But to be fair, Tony, the last 2 games I heard you buy was an Ice Road Trucker type game, and you build houses.
Nope, you didn't
and
build them.
refurbish them
You
or
flipped
whatever.
You flipped them.
Yeah, you flipped them
House flipper.
for
Oh,
$60 a piece or whatever. So I don't know.
I would definitely buy a flipper video game. Are you kidding me? If
Oh my
someone
God.
that loves The
Wait-
Sims and
wait till you
Nancy
see this
Drew
game.
CD-ROMs, that's my
Wait till you
that's
see
my
it.
alley.
It's the most
I like
relaxing
those
game.
games too.
It's the most
I
relaxing.
love them.
You walk in and clean the house because sometimes they're destroyed. You clean it up, then you reinstall like the appliances and put new furniture in and paint the walls how the customer wants it, and then reflip. So you buy a house for like,
That's my favorite part of Sims. So what am I doing?
and there's no humans in it, so there's no human interaction. You just buy the house, you
Yes.
flip it, and then sell it back, and then you make a profit. And then as the game keeps going, you keep buying bigger and better houses to flip and make more money.
Oh wow.
I love that.
It's fucking awesome.
I love.
Sounds interesting.
I love that.
I don't know
TBH,
if
I
I'd
love
like that.
that.
Yeah, it's a good game.
He
Should that
actually,
be our next stream? When we do it?
It'll be the most boring stream ever.
No, not with us. We'll do it. Fine.
It's not a very exciting game. I'll tell you that.
We'll have different voices for every.
It's like it's a console version of a poop game, like you play on your phone. Like just one.
Oh.
Oh.
Like there's not much depth to it. You know what I mean? But it's time consuming and it's relaxing. It's like watching pimple popper videos. It's like
Hey, there's a market for it.
yeah.
There's a market for it. Some people would
And
love to
the
watch
the
somebody
ice
play
road
that
trucking
game.
game was fun, right? So this game
Not
is
my
like
kind of game.
it's like all like it's not ice road truck, but like you
No.
have to drive trucks through like 4-wheel drive trucks through like really shitty mud ridden or snow
Oh,
ridden
you,
roads.
you hit a snow pocket. Get out and put your chains on.
But with this new steering setup I got, that game might get a revamp. I got a whole racing simulator now.
It looks
Oh.
like at the inside of a car, and like he
That's
sits
neat.
back and he has like a steering wheel and like the legs go up and everything, and you have a spot for like the gear shift.
And then like
Very
you sit
interesting.
in it, right? And then there's like
comfortable as hell. I tried it.
The steering wheel kind of swings out so you can get in and out.
Oh,
And then
wow.
when you sit in, you swing the steering wheel in and lock it in place. And then you're literally
It's like a carnival ride.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I tried to play my first racing game on it.
Mhm.
I have to figure it's like it's like learning how to drive again because the
Is she
wheel
touchy?
the wheel has a thing called haptic feedback. So if the
Oh.
road
Mhm.
isn't like the
Yep.
wheel's like
Yeah, that's gotta be rough.
yes, so you're like you're doing a NASCAR game. You're doing 200 miles an hour.
Mhm.
It's not like it's just like "Eep, eep." Like no, the wheel's fighting you. Like you have to fight the wheel. You're like oh, and if you let go, it just
Holy
takes.
shit!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, can you do Mario Kart with that?
No, it's only the wheel.
Oh man, that
only-
would be sick.
you know, the
yes,
wheel
I was
only
gonna
works
challenge
for
him to that.
Yeah.
the wheel only works for Xbox and PC.
Oh,
Can you use it
bummer.
on your original Xbox that was modded?
I don't know if it goes that far back
Okay.
because those systems weren't even USB to put those controllers in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll go to my new system.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sorry, we had a bunch of people and they bailed on my rant. Any other news? I kind of jumped in with you on mine with the next gen news.
I did want to say also, we should be getting 2 more Animal Crossing updates for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then they're going to do another mini update too. I want to throw that on
Do you
top
think
of the
they'll
Animal
do-
Crossing.
Do you think for when it comes to Christmas, do you think they'll do a holiday one and include Hanukkah and Christmas?
Oh yes, I think
Aw,
so.
yeah.
Yep, they have
I'm sure they
they have
would.
And what's the other one? Kwanzaa?
Mhm.
yes, Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
They do it. They have a reindeer that comes for Christmas. I'm
Aw.
forgetting his name right now. He's really cute. I do know that they
Dolph.
have.
Dolph.
Instead of Rudolph. Dolph.
Instead
I'll
of
have to look.
Rudy.
I'll have to look and let you guys know next week because I forget his name, but he's really cute. I do know that they sell I don't want to get the terminology wrong. The candle set for Hanukkah is it menorah?
Menorah.
Yeah.
Menorah.
Yeah.
It
They
sounds
sell-
rude, but I always think of that because of poop, like manure.
Yeah, I was like,
Menorah.
I know I'm missing a syllable, so I apologize about that. That wasn't meant.
I don't
to
think your holiday's poop. That's the easiest way for me to remember it. It's menorah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I couldn't recall. So I apologize. But yeah, they sell that because Mark put himself in the southern hemisphere, so we could double up on like fishing and bugs quicker.
Yeah.
And I saw it for sale in this store, and it's really cute.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
do sell that. I didn't see anything else Christmas wise for sale yet when he had the winter there because their winter is in like June, July, August. But that doesn't mean that they won't add anything later because they
Yeah.
could add something later. But I know that they at least have the menorah available for sale.
Yeah, it's fun. What news do you got?
I have 2 trailers for movies that are coming out really soon.
Okay.
The first one I have is a movie coming out on October 9th, and it's called The Wolf of Snow Hollow. And it's labeled as a comedy, horror, and thriller, which is interesting. And I watched the trailer of it, and it's kind of like that old, like that vintage kind of era of just like that horror comedy, where it's like, and it's also like seems like it's like the first like legit monster movie that like we've seen in a while.
I love monster movies.
It's so funny. It's like a werewolf type thing. Here's the trailer for it. Terror grips a small mountain town as bodies are discovered after each full moon. Losing sleep, raising a teenage daughter, and caring for his ailing father, Officer Marshall struggles to remind himself there's no such thing as werewolves. And the trailer is really funny, but it's just basically he's doing a manhunt type thing where everyone in like the police force and like the town are convinced that it's a werewolf, and everybody's like, and he's like the one constant. And it's just like, no, it's just a man dressing up. Like we have to find it and whatnot. And there's this one part in the trailer that I think is really, really funny where it's his father, who's the police chief, basically goes, "All right, boys, we're going out tonight. I'd ask you to pray with me, but it's not allowed because of the goddamn lawyers." And I think and I just saw that and I was just like, oh, heck yeah, we're going back to that. Like, I think that's so fun. So I'm super excited for that one.
That
Interesting.
sounds good.
It's not a star-studded cast, but definitely people you've
No.
seen before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was looking for some possible big names, like the guy who I guess plays the sheriff. I've seen him in other stuff, but it's not like he's like a super big name person.
Mm-hmm.
And what's
Yeah.
the other one?
The other one I have is a movie coming out. I'm pretty sure, I don't know where the release date is, but I'm pretty sure it's October 12th or 15th, whatnot.
Okay.
And it's called Supernova. And this one has Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci in it. And it's a drama. And the trailer, the description is Sam and Tusker are traveling across England in their old RV to visit friends, family, and places of their past. Since Tucker was diagnosed with dementia 2 years ago, their time together is the most important thing that they have. And Steven, they're partners.
That's gonna
and
make you cry.
yeah, it looks like it's going to be so beautiful because Stanley Tucci is the one that's losing his memory, and then Colin Firth is just like his solid partner that's kind of like, and like Stanley Tucci, and like it's just kind of like this isn't fair for you, and Colin Firth is just like, it's not about fair, it's about love, and I'm like,
There's a video.
so
I
I'm
watched
so excited to see that
where
one.
it's a YouTube video where this guy took his mother to like McDonald's to get her food, and like as they walk in, she's with him. And then halfway through the meal, she has no idea that's her son sitting across.
Oh my
And then she
gosh.
starts talking to
God.
him as if they're friends at a restaurant, and talking about her son as if he was like how great of a person he was, but speaking to him as like, dude, it was fucking heartbreaking.
That is really sad.
Yeah. And then
Those
the
are
whole time
hard
he's like,
videos.
and he's not gonna like, he wasn't like, Mom, it's me. He's like, awesome. He sounds like a really nice, but like he kind of like,
Went with it.
yeah,
Because there was a thing going around on Facebook a little while ago where it was like a woman and whose mother was really, really going bad with dementia. And it was the idea of they like the person that has the dementia like doing the same thing where it's like the idea of not going in and kind of just like forcing like their memory, just like, don't you remember me? Don't you remember me?
because
It's going in
you
and
kinda
just
becoming
being
selfish. Like, why don't you angry that you
Yeah.
don't remember and like upset?
And
like,
she said in the actual thing where it's just like she didn't know exactly who I was, but she knew that she loved me.
yeah,
But she didn't know who I was. So I would go in and I would just say, "Hey honey, how are you?" and just kind of talk to her. and just like if she figured it out, great. If not, she just knew that you were just there, and
Yeah.
they would just talk about it. It's beautiful.
There's another interesting video I seen of this elderly man, and he literally he looks like a corpse. Like he has no life in him. He's just his jaw is slacked. His eyes look like there's nothing left. Like they're cloudy. He's crinkled up. He just kind of sits there. There's nothing left to him, and they try to talk to him, and all he does is grunt and make noises, and he just really and then they took music from his youth and his childhood, and they put it in his ears and
Oh,
start playing it. He literally goes from like this to slack jawed to like sitting up
I
straight,
cry.
and he's like
Oh,
dancing his fingers, and he
what
starts
a
singing
sweetheart.
along. Like he can't speak very well, but he's singing along to the music. He's like this song here, and he starts like going into like the history of the song and the
What
music.
an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, so like
oh
the
my
music
gosh.
literally triggered and brought him back. Like that's why I think like pop culture and music and movies are so
Art is
so
important.
important. Yeah.
So important because it reaches a level that nothing else can touch,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
especially memory.
it was a cool video. It'd be
Mhm.
interesting to see like studies and science of what they can do to possibly combat that or reverse it or help people with dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff.
Yeah.
I know there's theories of like microdosing, like where they're doing micro doses of mushrooms, like the magical mushrooms, and like that's actually
Mushrooms
finding.
have such healing properties. Like it's not just like the weed too. It's like that other. I mean now mushrooms is
Everything can
different
be
because it's
abused.
yeah, and like mushrooms is different because like because there's just legalizing weed now where it's mushrooms like you can actually like see because it's a hallucinogenic and everything. So
But if you
but
don't
there
take
is
it,
such
if you take it in
healing.
smaller doses where you don't get the hallucination
Mhm.
factor, there is benefits to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It helps produce dopamine and serotonin, I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
But
I think some people I think they were testing it with people who were almost to the point where they're clinically suicidal, like where they're at the point where they're like that depressed where they felt like there was nothing else for them.
yeah.
And then they started testing like the microdosing of mushrooms, and it was just like it was almost like the best antidepressant they've ever given people. Like they weren't tripping, but it was enough to like correct the chemical imbalance. It's interesting. It's
I mean,
fascinating.
sorry mom, but yeah, I mean, yes, I can attest.
Yeah.
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 It's actually it's kind of incredible.
Yeah. Anything can be bad if you don't use it properly.
Mhm.
You know, it's interesting.
Yep.
Has anyone been playing or into anything new as of lately? I know for me, the only thing I really done, my news topic was kind of just the Sony Xbox thing. The only thing I went out and I purchased the Mario game, the Mario 3D All Star, whatever it's called. I only played a little bit of Mario 64. It plays fantastic. It's like you're back home again. And I know we talked about buying it and playing it, and I said during the show, I said, man, I guarantee this is going to be the starting point of bringing that N64 and GameCube emulation to the Switch. And I guess that people have been finding leaks and reports and coding that I think that's going to be adding to the system very within the next couple months. And I guess they're hinting at that new, stronger system too for Nintendo. We might get early 2021, so that's interesting too. Yeah, it's gonna be a hot button. 3 possibly new systems coming out tail end of this year and beginning of next year. So interesting. But yeah, I didn't play the whole thing. I just played the Mario 64. Um, it plays great on the Switch. I think it feels like it's made for it. It's like you don't have to hold the N64 controller. It feels like it's great. I had a good time with it. I did get something else. I just don't remember what I bought. What the fuck did I buy?
What, Resident Evil?
I think no. Well, Kevin bought Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So if you are, you can do it with PlayStation 2, but you should look into game sharing where it's a little loophole where I buy a game, but me and you game share. So I buy the game and you get to play it for free.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
neat.
We have a little system. And Kevin bought Resident Evil 3, so we did play it. Good call, Nikolai. Thank you. So I did. We started playing Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
We got to. I would say, I don't want to say at least halfway because we're not that far in, but
No.
we just got to Raccoon City. We took the train to Raccoon City, and now we're playing as Carl. We took the train out of Raccoon
Mr.
City.
Beautiful Hair.
Yeah, and now we're playing as Carlos, and he's at the police station. So Resident Evil 3 actually happens before Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
Yeah, which is strange. But yeah, so we got about that far into the game. So now Jill is stuck in a train that's wrecked, being chased by Nemesis, and Carlos is back at the police station trying to figure out what's going on there. And that's where we left off. But so far, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is
It's
fun.
fucking terrifying.
It's
Nemesis does not let up at all. Like there's no quit. Like you can't like in Resident Evil 2 when Titan's chasing you around the police station, you can kind of hear where he's coming and then just run the other direction and still kind of do what you were doing. You don't have that luxury with Nemesis. He'll bounce through walls. He'll jump from the ceilings. There's no escaping him. So it's not as I feel like you're kind of forced to force your way through the game. So if you're someone like me who likes to look for things and stuff, it's one of those things where you have to know where it is to go get it right away. Because if you're gonna try to do it while you're being chased, not happening.
funny.
You can hurt him to the point where he'll take a knee, and if you're there for more than a couple seconds, he's standing back up and he's full fledged just attacking you, and
It's fun.
it's terrifying.
I'm still waiting for us to do Outlast.
Yeah, she wants to play Outlast. I don't want any parts of that game. I played a little bit of it. It's too much. Yeah, it's too much. But we'll mess around with it. Yeah. So you have some Fortnite stuff, right?
Kind of.
Yeah.
So a friend, Kevin, we refer to him a lot. He finished the battle pass on Fortnite and hit level 100, and we found out there are 40 more levels. All of the characters are now have a silver version of themselves. I'm assuming that's because of the Silver Surfer element and Galactus.
Yeah.
But we did find out you cannot buy those levels. So if you are slowly working your way through and you want those silver levels, you need to actually play.
Yeah.
Or buy the levels up to 100 and then play.
Yeah. It's the the way this is going now is Galactus is coming to Fortnite, and the Marvel universe is in the game trying to defend the Fortnite universe from Galactus. So our theory is once you hit 100, they're going to give you Silver Surfer versions of the characters because the only person who can really defeat Galactus is the Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's going to be some type of correlation there.
Hmm.
Yeah. And they just put in Blade in the game. You can buy
Yep.
Blade.
I saw that.
And Wolverine is running around on the map. I found him today. Someone else killed him, but I found him.
Yeah.
You have a good story about you and your brother
Yeah.
that people might not know
Well,
about
no,
Wolverine. isn't it?
I have two stories of Wolverine. So I do. We've been doing live streams. So I think the way we're gonna do the live streams now is instead of doing the live streams on Not Cool in High School, we're gonna do the live streams on the IWEP network on Facebook because I'm trying to boost up that page.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can get a following there, we'll get the cross-platform to everything else. So if you
That's a
start
good idea.
following
Yep.
the IWEP network, we share every live stream to the podcast there. So that's kind of the hub of everything we do for the show. So I'm just going to do the gaming streaming on IWEP network. So I was doing live streams on Fortnite, and I was randomly dropping in with people and trying to see how they played and hanging out with people. Spoiler alert, it's Fortnite. I'm playing with a lot of kids. So I played with this kid from another country who knew very little English,
Aw.
and he was very young, and he was very excited that he was playing a game with somebody with a microphone.
Aw.
But his English was horrible. So we were playing, and he goes, someone's over here. And we go over, and he goes, Wolverine, Wolverine! Like, that's because but
Aw,
he's screaming.
That's so cute.
He's screaming, and I'm just shooting at Wolverine, and we kill him,
Uh-huh.
and then you get Wolverine's claws, and you can, that's like an ability.
Oh, cool.
So then me and my brother play a little bit later, and we run into Wolverine. And I light Wolverine up, but he runs up, takes a couple swipes, and I'm down. So Austin runs over as he's killing me, and he shoots Wolverine and puts Wolverine down.
Mm-hmm.
So normally in Fortnite, when someone goes down, they're down. And then you can go over and revive your teammate and move on.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, "Fuck it, Wolverine's down. I'm gonna come save you." So I'm watching, and to revive somebody takes time. It's like
It's
a
like a 10-second loop.
It's like a painful It feels
Oh,
like an
geez.
eternity to bring somebody up. It's not
Did
like
we
you
get
hit,
something?
huh? No, somebody shared the stream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thank
cool.
you for Lexington, for sharing the stream. Appreciate that. Alexis was watching. She said she thought it was cute watching me
Aw.
stream with that kid. Yeah. And then people were, I was streaming with people, and I was like, "Hey, do you ever play? Do you like streaming?" He goes, "Yeah, I like streamers." I'm like, "Who's your favorite?" He goes, "I don't really have one yet." I said, and the one kid's like, "I think you'd be a good streamer," and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Aw.
I think I took the fucking streams down like an idiot because I'm trying to put them all on the one. So those past streams may not be there anymore. If I did, I'm sorry. But the kid's like, yeah, I think you'd be a good streamer, man. You seem like you have a really good personality and you're fun to like play with. You'd be a great streamer. And I was like,
nice.
I was like, that's
so
very nice of you.
sweet.
And I don't tell people I'm streaming right away because then like if someone knows you're streaming, they know the keywords to get you banned.
Oh,
Right?
that's not good.
So I don't say anything. And then at the very end, I'm like, all right, man, listen, it's nothing personal, but after this game, I played like 1 or 2 with each person, and I said, I'm going to head out. I'm going to try to find some more people. I said, but I appreciate you, playing the game. You should go check out my game stream that you were just on. Search IWEP Network on YouTube, and you can find, we're on Facebook game streaming on Facebook Gaming. And he goes, I was on the stream.
Aw,
And then they go,
that's
so
so
it's like
sweet.
trying to possibly build up our network that way too.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, so Austin's picking me up, and Wolverine is down, and all of a sudden he just rises like the Undertaker, and he runs over and just starts kicking the shit out of
Oh my
Austin.
god.
So we're huge Marvel fans and huge
Yes.
comic book nerds.
Mhm.
We didn't think the game would actually go about using Wolverine the proper way. So
Yeah.
he healed himself.
Of course he did.
Yeah, so it's like, so if you do knock Wolverine down, finish the job because he
Make
will
sure he's
finish
dead.
him.
he will get back up. Yeah, so if you see Wolverine in the wild in Fortnite, finish him off. But yeah, so there's 40 levels after 100.
He's gonna be on top of those steamy stacks at some point, fighting Deadpool.
I
I'm
don't
telling
think
you,
I
it's
don't-
gonna happen. That's how you win them.
Yeah, they just added a Captain Marvel skin, but it's not actual Captain Marvel. It's like like you can put a Captain Marvel outfit on somebody.
Mhm.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I seen a Psylocke one where someone
Oh,
was dressed up as Psylocke, but
I
it
love
wasn't Psylocke. They brought Captain America back that you can buy
Yeah.
Captain America. I paid for
I
Captain
picked him
America.
up too. Yeah.
I don't mind buying the skins in the game. I know some people
It's
like
expensive.
it's like $20 a character. If you're going to
That's
buy a character,
crazy,
it's like
20
$20.
bucks.
It is crazy.
But
That's insane.
But for how much they
I'd
update
quit that game.
for how much they update that game, and they buy the
Okay.
rights to have
But
Marvel
let me ask
in
you
it.
this: you spend $20 on a character. They release like 10 of them. You buy all of them. How often do you play with all 10 of those characters? Never.
You
You
don't.
buy one character. You're like, oh, a new one. You never play with that one again.
Very true. I haven't played with Blade at all yet, so I may not. It has to be a really good character for me to get. Like I want the Batman ones, and I
Yeah.
missed out.
I'm sure that'll be.
But when you
back
buy
in
the battle
November.
pass and you unlock them, you get like 6 characters, and that's fun.
Right.
And then like so say if you get the character at level like 50, and then at 60 you get what's called the book, and then you have to do 3 or 4 challenges to finish that character's book, and then you get another alternate look for that character. So
Mhm.
like you unlock Storm, and it's Storm from the animated series,
Yeah,
and then
she's
there's
my
like a
fave.
punk rock Storm where her head's shaved and she has a mohawk.
Oh,
Oh,
from
that's
Age
cool.
Apocalypse.
Yes.
Storm
Yeah.
Age Apocalypse.
Yep. And then like She-Hulk has green and red She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. Fortnite is a good time. I still suck. at
Well,
when
they have
people build.
Marvel anyway.
Yeah.
And then it's dumb again.
Yeah.
Well, no,
It's not that it's dumb, but it's like, for me
not
personally,
entertaining.
I
I should say.
only
Let me say that
play-
way.
for the brands.
Yeah.
Like I even bought the NFL football player guy that you can do. I'm not a football fan at all, but I own it. 'cause
So
it's a brand.
they're all debating on what the next, because it's gonna be this, like the next one that comes out is pretty much gonna be the last one before the new consoles come out, I guess.
Yeah.
So they don't know if it's gonna be a big thing. A lot of people are starting to theorize that maybe like Galactus comes and destroys the planet, and maybe the next game is in space, and it may go back to Star Wars.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I
That'd be
remember when
cool.
they had the Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
Star Wars was a lot of fun when they had them in it.
Yeah, but it wasn't as elaborate as this Marvel one though.
No,
Yeah.
they just had some stormtroopers show up.
Could you imagine like you're playing and you go to like Darth Vader's thing and you have to kill Darth Vader, or Kylo Ren or whatever.
I mean, you can
Kylo
beat
Ren.
Yeah.
So you could already have bought Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'd make him, but I definitely think like Darth Vader or Darth Maul might.
Could you imagine like
I
you're
was thinking
walking through the
Darth
woods
Maul.
and Kylo Ren's coming through the woods at you with the double saber or the triple saber? Like
Yeah.
how Wolverine is there.
No, I know. I was like triple saber. What are you
Darth Maul
talking
has the
about?
double
Well, he has
saber.
he has the well he doesn't
Yeah.
Kylo he has the one.
Kylo
Okay,
Ren's
so
looks like-
Kylo Ren has the really big one with the little
Yeah, it
tiny
comes
things
out
on the
the
sides.
sides.
So
But
there's
I
three-
wouldn't,
there's
I
three
wouldn't
sabers.
necessarily consider it 3.
He can't really use those to attack anybody.
Yeah.
He just did it to make it look cool.
They're fancy.
But if you got hit with it, it would cut your finger off.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sh-
sure.
Yeah.
like if you
Yeah.
were next to him, he just went.
Yeah.
like-
But he doesn't do that. He's too erratic with his lightsaber moves.
Yeah.
He's not controlled.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't trained right.
However, you do get a special skill point if you use Kylo Ren or Rey with the opposite lightsaber. You get a little legacy thing,
Mm.
like join the dark side or join the light.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
All right. Anyone else play anything or do anything since last week?
I've just been watching Harry Potter. That's all I've.
I'm excited
my
to start
life
playing
now.
that Harry Potter game that you
Yeah.
showed me.
Well,
Yeah.
you're going to be getting into gaming in total. Like you're going to be
Yep.
gaming. So she's going to
I'm
start
gonna
her.
start streaming.
You're going to start streaming, and we'll share it on the pages and stuff.
Mhm.
So she's
My main concentration will be Nancy Drew CD-ROMs. Thank you.
Are you going?
I like it. I like it
Did you
because I
find
love
out-
Nancy
Did you
Drew.
figure out what
So do
platform
I.
you're going to stream on?
I don't know.
I'm sticking with Facebook gaming. I feel like Twitch has everybody on already, and so does you and like YouTube. Like I
Too
wanna-
many.
Yeah,
Split
I
it.
think I'm just gonna hang out. I think most of our content does the best on Facebook Live, like our podcast. Like people listen. If you are listening to this, please go over and subscribe to us on one of your audio things, so we can get some audio listens. So you can listen to the audio only as well. It is great for a car ride. If you missed this live stream, you can listen to us in your car the next day. So yeah, definitely help us out there. But like, Facebook is killing it for us, so I think game streaming on Facebook is gonna be the
Yeah.
way we stick it.
Stick with it. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so
I'll try out Facebook because Twitch just seems like a lot to me. Like Twitch is like a
Confusing.
whole other platform.
Yeah.
It's just like where Facebook is like, okay, I kind of get Facebook already.
and then you're gonna
Mhm.
also possibly be playing Fallout 76 with us, and,
Yeah.
and other Game Pass games.
I'm gonna be a gamer girl.
Yeah, gamer girl. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. It'll be fun.
Belle Delphine who?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are part of the network indirectly, like Billy Trey. He game streams, so you can go follow him. Either we have, there's other people who game stream, that are play games. So we're all in there. Add us, we'll, hang out with us and game. All right. Is there anything else? You want to do your fashion thing now, or you want to wait?
Oh yeah, I can do the fashion thing. What I have on today is Game of Thrones, Alex and Annie, and you can get all the houses, and then it will say it's a little beat up because I wear it all the time. So don't mind that. But on the back, then it will have the house saying, and you should be able to find it in alexandannie.com.
Yeah, and then we'll have
Oh,
that photo.
cute.
We'll have that photo
That's
up. So
really
this is
cute.
her little segment. She does like nerdy fashion.
Oh, I
I
love
do.
that.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's so
she
cute.
pitched an idea and I liked it. We went with it. I like it. She
Yeah.
has fun. And then is this a hot topic shirt tonight?
Oh yes, this is
Yeah.
of course.
So it's when I tag later, I remember. She always, for the most part, it's either she wears a lot of Star Wars stuff. So it's another
Yes.
Star Wars. And what's it say? Protect, attack, snack. Is,
Yeah.
is that Baby Yoda?
Yeah,
That's
Baby
so
Yoda.
cute. That's such
Yes.
a Hufflepuff thing.
Yeah, I still have to watch The Mandalorian. I haven't watched any of it.
You need to
Ever.
get on that because it's coming out season
Baby
2 next
Yoda,
month.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda. Baby
I'll bring my
Yoda.
Baby Yoda stuffed animal next week just so he can stare at you until you watch it.
Yeah.
I have
I'll
one.
hold him and I'll
Yeah.
just.
He is really cute and cuddly. I also have a Pikachu.
Do you?
Oh,
I
love
do,
Pikachu.
yes. Speaking of Pikachu, I did pick up Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Hope to play that soon.
Yeah, I think they just announced more DLC for the Sword and Shield too.
They did in November. November it will be available. I already
Yeah.
have it downloaded, but it won't be available to November.
If you bought the one, you get both of them, or do you have to pay each one $30?
I got a combo deal. I downloaded them both at the same time. They had like a package.
I don't remember what I did.
You might be able to go back into like your Nintendo account and
Yeah.
see what you purchased, and it
I
should
do
tell
hate
you.
that because I own both games. That
Oh, it's confusing.
yeah, so I have to if you buy the wrong game's DLC,
Mm.
it doesn't they're not the same DLC for each game, which is
They're
weird.
not.
I think that's kind of shitty, but
Yeah.
yeah, I had to get back into Pokemon. So I went against everyone's things and I restarted from the beginning. So I'm gonna
Oh,
play.
you did?
Yeah, I'm gonna play through the whole game again and then do the DLC because I think I took so much of a break of it and then I let my cousin's kids trade and I think they took my legendary.
Oh, that's so upsetting. Yeah, then you need to start it over
'cause-
again because you won't
'cause,
get them back.
Yeah, I won't have a legendary. And I think they took a lot of my heavy hitters because they're like, oh, you have really good stuff. And I was just like, take whatever. I think I was drinking too. I had a couple beers. I was like,
whatever you
I was like, take
want.
whatever.
I feel
you-"
like it's not a surprise.
I was like,
in that
take.
situation.
I said, I don't even play it anymore. Just take whatever you want. And
It's
so
not
they're
a
like, are you serious? And then I became like the cool cousin slash.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
we have this thing like
Worth it.
we have so many cousins in our family, so it's like the cousins are kind of also like an uncle type deal. You know,
I had
Yeah,
a couple of those
yeah.
situations. Yeah.
white people shit. You know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like a cousin Tony, but it's all like, hey, there's Uncle Tony. You know what I mean? Because the age thing is like a respect more than anything. So I was like, take whatever you want. I don't care. Don't play. And then I like after they,
Uncle Tony's so cool.
yeah,
man,
he's so cool. He gave me the best Pokemon. And then
Whoa.
the next day I woke up and I was like,
oh dang.
oh shit, that DLC's coming out, and I don't have any of my shit anymore. I was like, all right, I'll just restart it.
We have a
Lady,
visitor.
Yeah, we
go.
have-
I
Little
Lady
lady.
joined
I
us.
saw
Yep, she
movement
did.
while I was watching you from the corner of my eye. I was like, "What the hell's that?"
It's a
And I'm like,
ghost.
oh, it's lady.
It's a
It's
ghost.
Ghost Lady. Yeah. So yeah. Pokemon.
DLC content's pretty good. I have to finish it yet though. I want to try and finish it before the
Is
new
it a whole
DLC.
other island?
Yeah,
Holy shit!
yeah, and then you have missions to do there. Like it's a dojo, and there's like a mix-up, so you become a member of the new
I want to
dojo.
start streaming Switch. I have to.
You
Start,
should, yeah. I
wanna
think that'd be
stream it.
good because nobody does that. It's always like not being mean or anything, but it's like the same stuff. It's always like Call of Duty or Halo.
I don't get a lot of views when I was streaming Fortnite because I think there's so many people in the
Yes,
Fortnite community, so it's
they
hard to
do.
get new
Mhm.
people. But I mean, I stream it because we do. I think we are pretty entertaining. I don't want to like. I don't want to like sound cocky, but I think I feel like if you
I'm
watch
sure,
our
yeah.
gaming
I
streams,
do
we-
kind of want to start Fortnite now.
Yeah, I think I think we are somewhat funny.
Oh, I believe you guys are.
I thought
yeah.
I
I
thought
don't
the
mean it meanly. It's
Resident
just, it's all
Resident
the
Evil
same.
was really funny.
I thought so. I mean, I thought so.
We did this Resident Evil stream after I just did a bang and beer, so I was kind of fucked up.
You were,
And then
you were
it just-
chocolatey wasted.
I was drunk, and then I'm playing Resident Evil with her, and I'm like screaming at the TV, like,
That
"Oh
was so
my
funny.
god, I'm dying!"
So that's the trick. We just get lit and then we play.
There you
video
go.
games.
I think those are the
There's
best
there's
ones.
absolutely a market for that. We
and
got it.
Heidi wants to start game streaming, so I think that's where the
I
Switch.
love that.
Me and her are gonna play like Mario Party against each other and stream it.
Oh, that's the kind of stream I would watch.
So you would
Like couples against each
you would
other, like-
slowly watch our divorce.
I don't think you guys will get divorced. You
Just
guys are a
Heidi just
strong
like
couple.
you asshole.
Oh, I am
Strong
a,
couple.
I am a scumbag to her when we play competitive games. I'm
Are
like,
you sure you're not a
"Ooh,
Slytherin?"
I am winning.
Yeah, right.
Maybe
Oh,
it
see
needs
that
to be
braggadocious
resorted.
attitude? That's
Yeah.
a Gryffindor right there.
Yeah. Oh, you think? I don't know. I
Be
only
like
saw
that
the first three.
that braggadocio, like where it's just like, oh, I'm such a winner. It's like, really, Gryffindor? We get it.
You
I
win-
always
you
thought that
win
was Slytherin.
You win
Yeah.
everything.
Great.
Yeah, we tried to play a side scroller Mario game one time, and I'm like, "You're taking up all the screen. We gotta go that way." She goes, "There's." I said, "It's one fucking coin. Just move forward."
Well, that's Mark and I
I
when
would
we
watch
play
that.
Mario Party, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers. Plus, when Steve plays with us and his family plays with us, and then all of their friends play with us. So maybe I also need to be resorted because I am a Hufflepuff. But if that's not, if that's not
Hufflepuffs have an anger to them. We have a bite.
Yeah.
We have a
okay,
bite.
well then I can stay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Join the party.
but I think that's normal for Mario parties and Mario
Oh,
Kart.
Mario
Mhm.
Party can get vicious.
It is very vicious.
Mario Party is like the video game version of Monopoly.
When
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
when you're at the point of just about to get a star and you work your way across the entire map for
Yes.
someone to just take it away from you and laugh at you about it,
Oh yes.
that's not an easy thing to just accept.
or when they steal it from you
Hmm?
Oh yeah.
and they think it's great.
I've called my best friend like some awful names that I would never even imagine thinking about calling her during Mario Kart. And afterwards, I'm just like, I love you so much, but I meant every word I said.
I love holding on to that shell until the last turn of the last lap, and I'm in second, and you
Yep.
just ruin someone's life. There's nothing more. Oh, it's such a good. And then you just scoot by, like, I'm gonna win the race. Oh, it's the greatest feeling. Or like, yeah, it's.
Or
great.
you use it at really strategic places in each map. That's what I do.
Or the
But
best
I will
is-
not give those strategic
the-
places away.
the
So
be-
watch out.
The best is when you get that green shell and you are in the lead.
Yes.
you just
Shoot
like-
it backwards. That's what I do.
Bow, and you're like, you son of a bitch. Or they hit you with the red shell's coming, and you quick pull the green shell out just to hold it, so it hits.
Yep.
The shells hit, and
I
you're
do
like,
that all the time.
still winning.
Yeah.
See, I'm chaotic. As soon as I get it, I'm like, Gah! I'm like,
Yeah.
Gah!
Oh,
I make
no,
like
I
giant minefields with them, and I'm like, who's gonna die first?
Yeah.
Get it? Sorry, motherfucker. And I just throw it.
All right, so we're starting this very late, but that's okay. I still think the flow of the show has been fantastic, and sometimes
fun.
maybe the show may go a little longer. Who knows? If you enjoy it, let us know in the comments. If you hate it, tell us to go shorter. We probably won't. All right, so we are going to dive into the world of Harry Potter.
Yes.
This is not going to be something we're for the next 8 weeks we're going to do.
Darn, I was
Okay.
hoping.
Yeah, it's-
I
I'm
was
going
kind
home.
I know,
Yeah.
same. I was
I
just
was,
like,
like,
next
hoping.
week, normal.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows? At the end of this, we will discuss what we think the next topic should be. If you are watching this, we'll say you have a say. If you want to pitch an idea for us that you want us to watch something or play something or do a topic of like an actor or an
Make a
artist
list.
or any, because that's the thing too. Like we've done artists like Stan Lee. We've done the history of not the history of, but like some research on it. You know what I mean? So that it doesn't always have to be a movie to watch. If you want us to do a whole thing on Daniel Radcliffe, anything, we can figure it out. But before we get into Harry Potter, we do know that right now is a tough time for the Harry Potter universe because the creator of it, J.K. Rowling, is under some fire.
Under fire, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's to the point right now. I think she made some comments where she's being labeled as transphobic and anti-gay, and they don't the cast of the movie saying they won't do anything if she's involved, and
Yeah.
That's insane.
and I don't know everyone else's opinions on it, but mine may not be the greatest if you're into that culture. So I maybe get canceled too here. But I think when it comes down to this, I'm going to read exactly what she tweeted that got her in trouble, and then there's a book she just released that people are saying is a very transphobic book, right? And I'm going to tell you my opinion, and I'm not saying my opinion's right, and I'm not saying anyone here's opinion is right or wrong, but everyone is entitled to their opinion, whether we agree or disagree. But I think when
The importance is the conversation. There.
exactly, and I'm not saying that I'm closed-minded in my opinion too. If you can sell me on it and you can pitch to me why you're offended, and I'm not saying that you're not allowed to be offended, and I'm not saying that you cancel J.K. Rowling or you hate her as a person. You are more than right to have that opinion as well. It sounds like a giant loophole here. I'm just trying to say is everyone's entitled to what they believe, right? So if you're like, I refuse to support Harry Potter, but if somebody else does, don't throw it in their face, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So if someone's like, I like Harry Potter, like, you know that the person who rated is this?
Yeah. Your
Like-
feelings are valid, but you don't have to completely treat other people like garbage in order to feel
Exactly. And that's kind of what I want to get to, because we are going to talk about Harry Potter and our love or hate, depending on how I thought of it, of the movie. And once we get past this J.K. Rowling thing, that's behind us, right?
bad. Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about the movie as what the movie was intended to be. You know what I'm saying? So first off, she made a tweet, right? And is that the first tweet? All right. So the first tweet, I don't know the context of it. I'm gonna guess because there's some stuff going on of feminine hygiene products. They want to remove.
And I also don't know if her book came out is like her book
Yeah, I don't
release
know the
came
whole-
out before the tweets or
Yeah.
after.
I will look that up while you guys go over
Okay.
that. What is the name of the book?
I don't know.
That I'm not sure.
I'll just,
of.
you know what? I'll just type in her books.
Because I know she made this book, and then she made the new Harry Potter book.
I'll just type in her books a while.
What a Harry Potter book.
Huh?
What a Harry
The
Potter
Cursed
book.
Child.
That's not a book. That's a play.
I thought she
Oh,
made
I
a
saw-
book.
Play.
I saw it in book title at Barnes and Noble.
Oh,
this
then they
past
changed
weekend.
it then.
It was
Yeah.
probably formatted.
It was
into a book.
originally a play
Mhm.
only because people were annoyed about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
They're like, I'm not reading a script. I'm
Oh,
like,
it's
welcome
in-
to my world.
in
I
book
love
version.
scripts.
Yeah.
Same.
Give me
too.
the script.
I write
I don't
in
want the book.
scripts. I don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the
Theater
first,
kids, man.
So
Yep.
so the feminine products are trying to remove women from the feminine products because people that are trans say that it's. I don't want to say the wrong thing because I don't know much. I don't. I
It's
don't
the
live,
idea
I
that
don't
the-
live that
the-
world, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. But also, like, if you are someone who is that, I'm not saying this of disrespect to you. I just
No.
don't know. And if you feel that I'm wrong, please come have a conversation and educate me. I am open to that as well. So
It's the idea. It's the idea that the companies are trying to brand out from just women because of like the trans, the sensitivity towards the trans community, where it's just like the trans, feminism, where it talks about where it's just like trans rights or women's rights and whatnot. So like the actual like branding of feminine products are trying to expand just from cis women to just like to trans women also. So like that's the body
Yes.
of like the meat and potatoes of what I think JK was talking about.
I agree. Now, I'm just going to go off my mental how I feel right now.
Mhm.
This isn't, listen, I'm not losing sleep over this. I'm not living and dying by what I'm about to say right now. I'm just going by basic human emotion and how I feel and think right now. Not saying I'm concrete in my beliefs or my things, but this is just where I stand at this point in time. It's even crazy that I have to say it this way because of the culture we live in right
Right,
now.
and I was just gonna say, and you are a very good person, and
Yes.
like what you're about, like whatever you're
Yeah.
going to say doesn't take away from the fact that you're a good person. In any,
So
anyway.
I am for gay, trans, all those rights.
Mhm.
If be what you want to be. But I also feel that women's rights are very important as well. And I understand that you're saying now that like, hey, I'm a woman and I identify as a woman, and I'm cool with that, right? And I don't want to like biology does kick in at some point in time, right? Like even though you're now saying you're a woman, those products aren't meant for you. They're not going to be for you. Like I know mentally and physically that's where you are right now, and I agree with that. I'm for it. I'm on your team. But like women fought really fucking hard and long for these rights. So and I can't even put myself in a headspace to say how hard and fought they came through it and struggles that women go through, because that's something I've never will experience or have experienced. But I respect the fight for it, right? I am coming from an Irish Italian person. Like there's history of my heritage that I understand how hard it is to fight and go against and do things and go for those. So I can relate in those aspects, but it's not even on the same fucking level. And I think what trans people are going through and what they're fighting for is very valid and thing too. But
Yeah.
sometimes you have to forge your own path and you cannot bleed lines between the two, right? So I understand, I understand where you're like they're coming from. Where like, hey, we feel we are women now, right? And I agree with that, and I'm for it. And I will say whatever pronouns you are.
Mhm.
But when it comes down to like a product that I don't. Am I wrong by saying that product's never going to be used by you?
Well, and like that, and I wonder if it's like a case to case basis because I'm not trans. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a woman of the LGBT community, so it's like that means. I mean, it means nothing because I'm also not trans, so I
Yeah.
can't speak for the trans community. So I also don't know the science and the biology behind it of once you transition from male to female, I don't know the reproductive issues that you are going to have.
Yeah, I just don't see how when you get the surgery and if you do the surgery that they're gonna implant ovaries in you and you're gonna go through a womanly cycle. Like I don't think that's possible, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the scientific behind it either,
Right.
right?
Yeah, and it
So
could like that could just be like me just being ignorant from not knowing and like not doing enough of the research into it. But from what JK's tweet was basically saying, and like you'll go in and read it
yeah,
then, but it's
she said people who menstruate. I'm sure there used to be a world where those people award for these people. Someone help me out. Wumben, Wimpound, or Wumund. So she pretty much was. Once again, I'm not J.K. Rowling. I don't know where she was coming or the context behind it, but it seems to me
meant
if
to be in like a sarcastic tone, like "What's a woman?" Like, do
yeah,
we
like
forget what a woman is?
does anyone can anyone take the title of a woman and say they are that person? Like I can't turn
I guess it's
around.
like Shakespeare, where it's just like "What in a name?"
Yeah.
by like what name? Yeah,
Yeah.
type like what does a name even mean?
Yeah, and like I said, I could be considered a hypocrite too because I'm trying to support. I was bummed at first for a football team name, and I'm not Native American, so I can't speak for their culture. Like I don't. So there's it's such a weird, convoluted thing. So that was the first thing that came up where that was deemed insensitive, and people were really upset about it. And then she tweeted, "If sex isn't real, and then there's no same sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concepts of sex removes the ability of many to meaningful discussions of their lives. This isn't hate speech, it's the truth." So, and then, she then goes on to tweet the idea of women like me who've been empathetic and for trans people for decades feeling the kindship because they're very vulnerable in the same way to women, i.e. to male violence. Hate for trans people because they think sex is real and has lived with consequences is nonsense. So then I guess she then goes on to say, she's someone who dealt with and suffered with physical and sexual abuse, and one of her triggers is feeling a safe space as a woman to use a bathroom, right? And she's not fully comfortable with someone who may be a male in a female's bathroom because of the past trauma she has.
Which, before we go any further, the idea of the safety and the concerns of a victim, no matter what, I mean, this is me. No matter what, across any board, across any line, the fears of a victim of specific trauma should always be taken into account as valid, no matter what.
Yes.
So, but yeah, well, I mean, we'll continue more, but
Yeah.
it's kind of it's what bothers me, I think, most about like the whole thing, which I understand the issue that other people have, where like of the trans community, kind of because from other people's perspectives, her tweets might have seen to them as like transphobic and kind of saying that trans women aren't real women in an aspect. But it's the idea of let's kind of pause and we'll take up and see why she's upset and why she's not why she has an issue with this. It's like
Yes.
let's look into someone's past and see what happened to them in order to make them feel uncomfortable and feel scared and
Yeah.
whatnot. And let's put that let's kind of at least if we're mad at her, take that little bit of grain of salt and kind of put it in and maybe have a little bit of sympathy for the opposite side, which is
Yeah.
which is fine.
And it's interesting that you say dig in their past, because I feel like in our world today, when we're all ripping into each other and all this stuff, the only time we look into someone's past to see what happened is if there was something negative
Something
that
doing
they
bad.
did,
Yeah.
instead of like a trauma or whatever that
Yeah.
caused it.
Mhm.
Like people have lost jobs because they said something 20 years ago that
Yeah.
at the time no one in the world cared about.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some people, but as a grand scheme of things, no one cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're in a world where it's like you said something, like 20 years ago,
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
No, it's a similar situation, but it's like on the pop culture as well, where
We-
YouTube creators,
Yeah.
where it's like a Shane Dawson, where like there was stuff from his past where he said some things that were like really unacceptable if they were said today, and especially regarding just like pedophilia and like issues with
Yeah,
like
I know nothing about this topic. So I can't speak on it.
making jokes about like young child stars and whatnot, which is unacceptable, and he said numerous times. And then the people forget all of the content that he created saying, when I was a child, I was molested and assaulted by my
Sometimes,
uncle and
yeah.
like all that said. And like what people are always like, well, that's not an excuse and everything. But then you have to, and it's all, what I guess what I'm trying to get at is the fact that like, it's not black and white.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not evil and good. There's so much, there's trauma lines, there's therapy, there's psychological input, there's all sorts of things. It's hard because nobody wants to make other people feel bad, but people also want to stand up for what they believe in.
Right.
And it's hard because
And-
like it's so polarizing.
Exactly. And like I feel like too that where it's like people say they want like a free space and equal across the board, but I don't think they really know what that means.
No.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to talk to the other person
Yes.
You
who
have to be able to
the
treat
exact
people-
opposite
So if
and be fine with it.
So
Yeah.
we're not justifying what she tweeted or said, but I am gonna defend the fact that she had the right to do so, right?
Right.
But I also defend your right as a fan, if you feel hurt by it, that you no longer support her,
Yeah.
and I think that goes two ways. If I can go back and say maybe in the future what I would learn about this, and this is something I've done personally, where I put something on Facebook like a meme that could be something that I knew when I tweeted it or when I put it out, it could be triggering because maybe I was attacking a political figure or a celebrity or an athlete or something, and that could be, well, you're insensitive because this person went through this when they were in 8th grade, but I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like one of those deals. So I think I kind of shy away from doing it, and I know it's one of those things where like, well, sometimes your silence is not the same thing, but I have a platform where I can speak. J.K. Rowling, if she went live on Facebook or went live on her Twitter, and her tweeter,
On
yeah,
the Twitter machine.
where she has the platform to openly speak, where her words can be heard, and not kind of dictated by what people think of what she's saying through a text, because it could be misconstrued to being, is she being snarky, is she being hateful? So maybe in reality sometimes maybe if you're going to make a statement or a movement or say something that you feel, it should probably be done in a video aspect or done in an
Mhm.
So
interview
you
where
could see the tone
with a
and
tone and you can
because
actually
so much gets lost within
yeah.
just text.
So I think maybe in that aspect she made the mistake, and then
Mm.
trying to respond via Twitter again by
Yeah.
typing like you're being lost in translation. I think if she would
Mhm.
have came out, and what I would have done too is like this is where I think when people are like, well, podcasts are fucking stupid. They're not, because you're
Mm-mm.
actually physically hearing our voices and watching us and realizing that we're just as lost and confused in all of these topics as everyone else, and we're trying to find where that common ground is, right? And we're trying to understand where these lines are blurred and where we can meet in the middle and we can all work together. Like, no one at this table is closed-minded to the point where we're so set in our convictions that if someone comes with a next point, that we're going to dismiss them right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it sounds shitty, right? And I'm not a religious person. And I know I get joked around a lot with our friend Tim, where he's like, you remind me of Jesus. And I think it's the weirdest thing that he compares me to that all the time. But he's saying, like, he goes,
You give without question.
I give, but I also have a understanding of things too. Like, if you tell me you're racist, I can't turn away from you. I want to, because I'm in an interracial relationship. I have friends of all different shapes, sizes, like, but I want to seek out why you feel the way you feel, and I
Mhm.
want to have that conversation. But we live in a time now where if I have that conversation on camera, or if people know that they're that person, and I'm gravitated to them to have that conversation, open that dialogue, where they're like, you're just as bad as them because you want to have the conversation. I'm not trying to change
No.
that person. I just want to understand why they are the way they are. But if I can come with them with love and say, hey man, like there's another way of thinking about this, and if they're just as open minded as I am, maybe we can meet in the middle, and that person won't be as hateful again. So
Mhm.
like, I when I see people that are possibly deemed as no longer useful to society because they have a thought, I can't just quickly throw somebody away.
No.
Yeah.
And I think more people need to, and I think a
And
lot
I'm
of
the
it.
furthest thing from a Christian
Yeah.
when it comes to going to church, and like, I guess I'm raised on Christian values, and because we all have been. If
Mhm.
you're a white American or you're American in general, you're probably raised on Christian values, even if you've gotten away from the religion at some point.
Mhm.
And I think some people forget their values when it comes to things like, if a human says something that could be offensive, or say something that can be hurtful, or say something that could be misconstrued, or maybe they absolutely fucking meant it, should we throw that person away from society forever?
I don't, absolutely not. Because I'm a firm believer that every single person born onto this planet, every soul that is incarnated into a physical form, has a purpose, has value, has a specific need that they need to put on Earth.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is like the second you're born into existence, you have value. And I think what I was getting at earlier was I think because everything is so like online now and everything is like behind the computer, that it's like that bully aspect where it's like it's so easy to say things about
You feel
human.
safe.
You feel safe because there's no real there's no real I guess retribution to what you're going to say. And because everything is so with the pandemic, the cancel culture has gone up since like the pandemic
Because no
has
one can really
started,
go out and have
because
conversation.
nobody can
Mhm.
go out, so our entire lives are pretty much online. So it's like that like 2006 like bully mentality on like MySpace and whatnot is like blown up to these are our entire lives.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh well, you'll go to school and like you'll realize it's different because everything is on that computer, man. So
Yeah.
like everybody is so easily like thrown into this cancel culture because that's all it is anymore. That's
Yeah.
all our society is. It's that polarizing like person bad, eradicate.
And
So
nobody wants
it's
to
like,
sit and have that conversation either.
no,
Mm-mm.
because it's easier to kind of have that us against them mentality where it's just kind of like, oh, this is what's bad. Okay, everyone like cut them off. Like they don't exist
Yeah.
anymore, which is very very sad and is kind of like dividing the human aspect away from humans.
Yeah.
And it's very sad.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But I mean, is there anything else on this topic that we can dive into that we haven't talked about here? Does anyone else have any feelings about this? Because I know, like you said, that you didn't even know what the tweets actually were. You just seen the outrage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like personally, like if you want to have those outrages, that's your business.
Yeah.
But also, there's a lot of people that worked on those Harry Potter films that may not believe in anything that she has to say, or anyone
Yeah,
in
and
particular.
to say that
Mhm.
like, hey, we did all these movies, and we're not like, I don't think they're not saying they're not proud of the movies, but they won't work with her again.
I mean, but they didn't really, at least as an actor, like I've never seen a writer. I'm like any play I've ever done, I don't sit in the room with that writer.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
I'm
You
just
get
saying
a
if you're
random
that
We
offended-
director.
purchased the rights, but we
Right.
And
yeah.
this is where I tell like where I kind of get upset with like the actors by like immediately just jumping on the side of the who has the most pitchforks in a way.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah,
We don't want to get blackballed.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to get. They don't want to get shut out of their community.
They don't want to
And
also be a
especially
culture of the
now with COVID, where jobs are so scarce, you don't want to say anything that's going to cross the line. Like us talking about this topic, I'm afraid to say half the stuff because anyone sees us at any point that could be offended by it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I could be blackballed.
Yeah,
And that's a
and
thing.
that's so
a thing
sad.
I want to say
It's not
too
fair.
No.
is every single person at this table, we are responsible for what we do and say. So
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like so my views are not the same as Nicola. That's why I say like
But my
We're-
views are my own.
Yeah.
Your views are your own. It's
I to me I'm more offended at the fact that they just kind of quickly jumped on the side of the winning team to say they're not to say, well, we won't work with her ever again. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
if you're that offended, then every time you get a royalty check when that movie comes in or the rights come in, donate it.
mhm.
Give it to the community that you're. I mean, put your money. Like people shit on Colin Kaepernick, but when he made his money, he put it to where his beliefs were.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
like, so I'm not saying I hate the actors or I'm upset with them, but I
Mm-mm.
just it's tough. And
It is.
if you're that triggered over like you're not going to watch a Harry Potter movie or support this because of the creator, you have the belief to do that. But I'm going to tell you is you should research every single piece of content or media that you ever consume it for the rest of your life because don't be
And
an
hold everybody to the same
and
standard.
hold everyone
Yes.
because if you go back and read old school literature or you read everything,
If you watch a Michael Bay film, look back to what he did to Megan Fox.
yeah, or
Yes.
make sure every single piece of content that you consume for the rest of your life that they align with every single moral value and political and religion belief that you are into, and if you do not hold to the same standard because the outcry of someone being pushed away, then I'm sorry, you're a hypocrite.
Mhm.
Like
Don't just follow cancel culture because it's a trend. If you really want to cancel somebody, do it because
On your
personal
convictions.
on your convictions, which are completely valid.
Yeah.
Your convictions are your own, and that is the power of the human race is
And
the fact that we
goes-
can have
that goes with
have
everything.
yeah
That
that
goes
we
with
can
political
question
everything.
Mhm.
Go
The-
on your values, not for what you're seeing on social media.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and and here's the thing: if your values align with the general majority of going, there you go. If you are making choices because of yourself, that's fine. And on like the opposite side of the spectrum, I do just kind of want to say because we do have like younger people that watch, it's you are completely also valid if your your favorite universe like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, whatever, if anything comes under fire, you are completely valid to still like those things. And if it even if like everybody else in your friend group is just like, oh well, JK Rowling and you can't like Harry Potter anymore. No, you are still valid if those things got you through a hard time.
Mhm.
If those
Mhm.
things still connect to you, if those things still make your soul and your heart happy for positive aspects and for positive reasons, you are completely allowed and completely valid to have those
Yeah.
affiliations.
If watching
Yes.
Harry Potter made you a better person because you identify with that character to give you
Mhm.
the strength to get through something,
Mhm.
that is completely valid, and you can still love that era of pop culture.
Mhm.
If you listen to the song "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson, and that song still gives you hope to be a better person,
Mhm.
even though the person who did it has done allegedly
Terrible
has done
things,
terrible
yeah.
things. It's okay to still take that content and still say that there's still meaning to that.
Yeah.
Like I went and watched a movie, and it's still like that movie does something for me, even though the person who created it or the person who acted in it is a piece of garbage. Like you have to put that. There has to be a divider there at some point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
And there is the conflict because people don't want to support somebody that may have done something really wrong to something that they personally believe in.
Mhm. and it's okay to be disappointed by that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But at the same time, if you can hate somebody for something that they've done or said, and you can still love what they create
Yeah.
Right.
because
Absolutely.
it made you a better person.
Right,
It
'cause,
made
like,
you feel something.
Even when you're saying it, like if you learned something and you really like felt like moments that Harry felt in the movie and stuff,
Yeah.
it's like whether you agree with her or not, that's not ever going to erase those feelings
Yeah.
of I'm not alone. Someone else was going through this or something else. They just put it in writing.
Yeah.
And
put
I
it
mean,
on screen.
the original character for Hermione was, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but her original character was supposed to be like a minority, like she was supposed to be of like black descent, and so like it's the idea that she also fought through racism in her element. Then
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
yeah,
didn't know that
her character was supposed to be like darker skin. I'm not sure if there was any sort of like actual like
I'm trying to
whatever,
think
but
right
she was
now,
supposed to be
thinking
darker
of the movie,
skinned.
was there anyone like a person of color in Harry Potter?
There
There
is,
are.
There
yes.
are a
Yeah.
few, but
not
like
many.
what's the actress?
No main
name?
characters.
No.
Hermione's
Well,
Emma.
they get there.
Emma.
Yeah.
Is it Emma Blunt?
No,
No.
Emma. Oh my
Stone,
gosh,
not
Ross,
Stone.
is it Rawson or what R?
There's so many Emmas.
who played Hermione?
Help us out.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson.
Watson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I didn't know
couldn't
who we were
remember.
talking about.
There was
Yeah.
like
I just
so
heard
many
Emma's.
Emmas.
But it was like when Harry Potter first came out, like when the first movie came out, there was a lot of like issues because Hermione's character was written to be a different skin color
She's
than
supposed to be
just
a person
white.
of color. Yeah.
She was supposed to be a person of color, and because then with the whole mudblood thing, then it made it like even more cemented because it was like she was being called not necessarily like a slur of color, but a slur of like where you came from. It's the idea of not being able to choose
Yeah.
where you came from, but she was also a person of color. So it's one of those things where it's like if Hermione's story made you feel represented or like whatever, it's just like you're allowed to feel that, even though the movie doesn't represent that, and you still follow the books and everything. It's art is subjective.
Yeah.
And you can take it however you want. And if some part of that movie or the universe makes you feel good and makes you feel accepted and loved, take it.
Yeah. And then the last thing with her, and then we will get to the topic. 'Cause
Yes, sorry.
We would normally be done the show at this point, but like I said, it may go a little longer. So she made a book.
Emily.
She also wrote a book. I don't know that we didn't know the timeline of when this book came out.
Yeah, if it's a series I found, it's been going on for a few years now before she said this up until this year, but I'm
Okay.
not sure if it's the right story.
So she's writing like a murder mystery or some type of murder book or something.
Is it multiple books?
I don't-
Because
I
if
don't
so,
know.
then I did find the right series, and
Yeah.
she wrote it
Maybe.
under another name, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
clear on that.
Okay, so this and the and this is where they're saying that she is transphobic because of this book's premise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the name of the book. Once again, I'm not super educated on the topic. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just trying to because I know if we just jumped into Harry Potter, be like, oh, you're not going to talk about anything terrible she did. No, we're going to address it, like,
Yeah.
and then we're going to move like. But so she made a book where a man dresses as a woman or pretends to be a woman or maybe trans to attack or lure in women to going into their vulnerable spaces and then do his deed, his act of crime
As a serial killer.
as a serial killer. So people are now saying, oh, she made these anti-trans comments and she also wrote this book. Put two and two together, she's not a good person, right? So now going back to where she said, this is where I feel like triggered, or this is my point of fear of being in a location where I'm supposed to be safe
As a domestic abuse victim.
as a domestic abuse and sexual assault victim. I'm a woman. I should feel safe in my thing. This is my one thing where I have a hard time coping with or having someone who maybe me personally. I mean, if we were all in a bathroom together, I wouldn't look at your bits, and I hope that, and we would just use the bathroom and go about our day.
Oh, thanks,
Like I
Tony.
don't care. Like to me, I just like. I go apart. We go up in the bushes and we all take a piss and call it a day. You know what I mean? Like that. Once again, my feelings aren't valid. You know what I mean? So that's her valid feeling where she feels threatened. Now, if you go and look at Stephen King, or you listen to authors, or you people who
Dean
create
Koontz.
or creative people who create things, sometimes they dive into their own personal fears. So maybe that is a legit fear of hers. It's not saying she hates those people, but this is an actual fear. I don't hate all snakes. You know what I mean? But I'm terrified of them. You know what I mean? And that humans and animals, that was a terrible fucking analogy. I'm sorry.
But I mean, even Andy Warhol has the comment or the quote where art is not safe, and it's the idea of art making
You
an
uncomfortable.
outlet, making you uncomfortable, and because art is, and everybody always encourages people, like if you're afraid of something, if you're going through something, channel it into your art.
Yeah. And I think that's what she was doing.
Yeah,
which
I agree with that.
and I mean, we don't have her here to tell us her actual story, and nor is it really our place to ask, hey, did you write this book because of your sexual trauma? Like, which isn't really appropriate either.
It's not appropriate at all.
It's not
No.
it's not my business.
No. So it's like that idea where it's like, okay, so where is the line? Do we see what she said and kind of be like, oh, that's messed up? But her book is about like her issues and her fears, and she's a victim and blah blah blah. Or do we just say that one thing she said one time, not anything else? I don't want to hear it. She's done.
Yeah. So all right. So that's pretty much covering everything about
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
All right. We out of the way.
Yep.
We're almost 2 hours in. We will. I don't want to make it super short, but we will get into Harry Potter now.
Yes.
So here we go. When did you all get into the Harry Potter series? Because as we know, as of last week, I have never consumed anything in my entire life Harry Potter up until this episode, and I've still only watched one movie. I'm taking it one by one.
But you already have the scarf, so you're good.
I have the scarf. I bought it. No, this scarf was not made as Harry Potter. It just fits the theme, and I put it on. And I left you out to dry with no Harry Potter thing, so I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought 100% you were going to show up with something Harry Potter, and I was like,
Oh.
I'm not going to be the only one. So I went up and got the scarf. I'm like, close enough.
I wish I had more.
Yeah.
I'll have to pick some stuff up because I only saw the first three about, I'd say 2013, and I really liked them.
Oh, so you were late to the party too?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you both? Was any of you like day oneers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not
I
with the
saw it.
books,
I saw the
movies,
first one.
yeah.
I saw the first movie in theaters when I was a wee lass.
Okay.
I had it on VHS.
Really?
Oh,
For those of you who don't know what a VHS is, it was before DVD.
VHS.
Yeah. So here's
Please
where
rewind.
Here's where I
kind.
think
Yeah.
for me the movie has a different hit for me
Yeah.
because I'm at a point now where the movie series is completed, right? I can go and watch them at any point of my leisure. You've watched them when the first movie came out in theaters or tape, so then you had to wait in anticipation for the next one, right?
Mhm.
So I think we have to, and that's where I get into before, like when a TV series comes out and you have the ability to binge watch it in one shot, or when you have the ability to watch it week to week and have that dialogue to be like, oh my God, what if next week this happens? There are two different aspects in the show, right? So if you can binge watch an entire season of something, you don't have that water cooler moments at school or at work or with your friends to anticipate the next one, right? So there's two different ways of consuming media in that aspect of where we are today. So that's why I'm asking now, like when watching the first movie, your thoughts of the first movie are completely different from mine because I know going in I can watch the next one tomorrow. And then I can be like, I'm going to give it a day or two because I don't want to consume it too fast. You know what I mean?
Want to let it marinate.
Exactly. So, give us one of you can jump in on this. Give us the overall premise of what this movie is and about, and where we're going in the series of the movie.
Okay.
Anybody, go ahead.
All right. So the story all revolves around a boy named Harry Potter. If you couldn't tell from the title, and his parents die. You don't find out necessarily why until like later in the movie. I don't. Do they
Yeah, they
specifically
do.
tell you in the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the point is, at the beginning, all you are seeing is this infant child being dropped off at this house, and Harry is left with his aunt and uncle and his cousin Dudley.
Deadly.
And when Harry grows up, it like flashes forward, and you see that he's in absolute horrible conditions. He doesn't have an actual bedroom. He lives under the stairs. Yeah, and like
And they padlock him in.
yeah,
Yeah.
they do padlock
Awful
him
to
in,
him.
and like even in that opening shot where you see him down below, Dudley's running down the stairs, and he purposely jumps up and down on the steps to like make the dust fall on his face while he's
Yeah.
sleeping, and it's a bad situation. He's more treated like a servant than
Yeah.
anything.
And then when he's let out, it's like, hey, make us our coffee, do
Yeah.
Make
this,
us
do
our
that,
breakfast.
Yeah.
make us breakfast.
It better be perfect.
Yeah.
Dudley gets treated like a king with
right.
gifts.
35 presents for
Yeah.
his birthday, and he
Yeah.
wants 37.
And,
Yeah.
Because he had one less than last year, so they go out and buy him 2 more. And actually, when they go out, they go to the zoo,
Yes.
and Harry makes glass disappear, and Dudley gets...
he realizes he can talk to a snake.
Yes, he
he's
can
never
talk
done
to
that before.
animals.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
What's it called?
Apostle tongue.
Oh,
yeah, because he's kind of sheltered to the point where he doesn't realize he has any. And then when like he's getting older and he's realizing, and he's, I guess, when I grasped, he's hitting that ripe age where his abilities and his gifts are coming to. Like, I guess when you
It's
hit,
like he's hitting puberty.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
and
puberty.
everything's
But
kind of
now
going
that
haywire.
he's a
Well-
wizard, his puberty is coming as well as his powers. So they're
Mhm.
starting to come into fruition. Where when he was a kid, he didn't even know he had this.
Right. And then all these letters start to show up and his aunt and uncle want nothing to do with this. So they like try to like
Hide them.
rip them apart, throw them in the fire. They like block the mail slot.
And these owls are bringing these.
Right.
Mhm.
And they just keep coming and coming to the point where they're like, we got to get out of here. So they take him to this like random island.
Yeah, the shack.
Like a lighthouse almost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
like a
lighthouse.
shack.
Yeah, lighthouse.
And the door in the middle of the night on Harry's birthday, he makes this cake out of dirt on the floor and wishes himself happy birthday because he's never actually had a cake.
Make me
Poor
cry.
kid. Yeah, I
Um,
felt so bad. for him.
And when he says happy birthday, Harry, and blows out the candles, you hear this big pounding on the door, and the door crashes down,
Gives me
and
chills
Hagrid
just thinking about it, like my childhood.
walks through. And I like the point where, like, we talked about, like, how he goes through puberty and stuff. And, like, because Hagrid brings up that point, he's like, have you ever done anything that, like, you can't explain or something just kind of happens? 'Cause he's like, you're a wizard. And he's
You're
like,
a wizard,
what?
Harry.
He's like, no, I'm just Harry. And he's like,
I'm
well,
a
just
what?
Harry. He's like,
There's more to you than you know. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
What they've been telling you and what you've been told your whole life that you're insignificant and you
Right.
mean nothing. There's a whole other world that you're about to experience.
And like even in that moment when he finds out, he was like, "No, I'm just like my parents died in a car crash," and he's like, "What?" Like he was so offended that
Yeah.
that was the reason that
That was
he
the story.
knows.
That was the narrative that they
Yeah.
told him.
and that
and
the
this is
whole other
and then
world.
his mother. So he's going to his aunt's house, which I mean it is his aunt and uncle, but
Yeah.
his aunt is the sister of
Sisters.
his mother,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and she's been always jealous because her sister has been powerful and famous and has these abilities, and she was kind of a nobody. So
Mm-hmm.
when they died and Harry was then giving to her, she wanted to make her kid feel like he was the special one and treat Harry as if he was the piece of shit that she felt like as a.
Mm.
So she kind of took out.
It was that weird projection of
Yeah.
that
Yes.
childhood
Yeah.
trauma.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, Harry's parents, relatives are shitty, but they also have some trauma too that they're dealing with, and unfortunately, Harry's the guinea pig in this situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then Hagrid takes him from them, and they go get all of his stuff for school.
At
and-
Diagon Alley.
Yes, at Diagon Alley.
Now, Diagon Alley is a real life place, right?
Yeah,
like
Universal
that's.
Studios.
No, I'm saying, but
Yeah.
Diagon
I've
Alley,
been there.
but Diagon Alley in the movie is like in
It's in
normal
London.
society in London.
Yeah.
It's not a like.
Is it?
I don't know about that, but in the movie, it's based in London.
Yes.
I think you had to put you had to go behind like a special place to get there, right?
right.
You
Yeah,
had
like
to
a
do like a
wall.
little
Hagrid
code.
has to-
Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you go
Yeah.
into a pub, then go into a special room in the
Yes.
pub, and then
And
that's
then
right.
you come out
Because then when you go to the train station, you are back in normal society, and then the
Mhm.
train's
9
hidden.
and 3/4.
You had
Is-
to run
is
into a
hidden.
wall.
Okay. Yeah. I did forget about
at the right spot in the wall.
Yes.
So you phase through correctly and you
Yeah.
don't like die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you have to be like you have
So
to
I
kitty
did-
pride it.
I did forget about the pub where he did the. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Everything's
he
coded.
shows up
Yeah.
at this pub, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're Harry Potter!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "What the like?" So you have to now put yourself in
Let me
the
see the
eyes.
scar.
You have to
Yeah.
put yourself in the idea of the character where he never felt like he was anything, and now he's entering a world where everyone knows his name. He is
So
this,
polarizing.
he's almost a
Mhm.
celebrity. He finds out he's like, I have no money to buy
Yeah,
supplies.
and he finds out he's rich.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
Very rich.
He's like so.
He's like smog.
He's yeah. He then gets his supplies. He gets his wand. He's finding more about this. He ends up taking something out of a vault that he doesn't know exactly what it is.
Mm.
He was just told not to talk about it, and now he's at
He's left
school.
at the train. Well, he was
Oh, yeah,
left at the train.
left at the
Hagrid
tra-
leaves him, and
Hagrid
he has
leaves
no
him.
idea where 9 3/4 is when he
Yeah.
gets the ticket. So he
Mhm.
asks like one of the attendant people, like, "Is this a joke?"
9 3/4. Like, and it's
What do
like,
you want?
you stupid child. Like,
Sounds like Fable. And then he meets the Weasleys.
Yes. And they run through the wall, and Ron ends up sitting with him on the train. And
Ron, if he doesn't become fat in this movie, it's a miracle because he eats a lot of junk food.
he does.
yeah,
Can't
He
blame
does.
him
The
though.
sweet Weasley boy.
and actually to that, his family's more on the poorer side of things.
Mhm.
So when the cart comes through with all of these like crazy candies and all like the chocolate
He-
frogs and
he
stuff,
indulges.
Yeah.
well, Harry's like, oh, it's all well, we'll take the lot, like, and then the whole cart's like filled with
Yeah.
all this candy.
You gave a child who never felt like he fit in and never thought he had possessions, and now he's rich,
He's
and
rich,
he has
so-
the opportunity to
yeah.
do anything with his first purchases. And he balls out with him and his new friend and buys a
And
bunch
Ron,
of
who's
candies.
poor, or who's like poor, is just kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
We could buy all these candy.
Yeah.
I looked at it too, like he knew, like they both, like he knew what it was like to not have anything, and he saw that in Ron too, and he wanted to share and do something nice for Ron
Yeah.
and
So,
himself.
Normally in these movies, when I'm forced to be into a character, right? They're like, this movie's this character. I always try, like, I think the subconscious in me is like, I'm not going to like this character. I'm going to find a sub character and I'm going to latch on to him. I loved me some Harry. Dude,
Mhm.
I think,
Harry's really kind.
yeah, I like Harry a lot. I like his attitude, and we'll
He's
get more
humble.
into it, but he's very humble. Like, even when he's hit with all this, well, you're famous. You should, like, we'll get into it in a little bit, but like, you should know this. You don't know the history of this. Like, who do you think you are? Like, you come from royalty, and you know Jack, and he never once says, you have no idea where I came from. You have no idea that I was raised to be this piece of shit. He kind of just takes it on the chin and just goes, sorry, and moves on with his day.
Yeah, he's very like kind. I think he handles like stress very well. I think he handles all this
Most-
new information
Yeah,
very well.
Most kids would be like,
nice.
they would project and they would put out right on Front Street. I know I would have as a kid been like, you don't know that I'm at home what I went through. Like, he would try to then put his whole story out,
Yeah.
but he kind of realizes that they're not gonna give a shit.
No.
Because he's used to people not giving a shit.
Right.
Exactly.
Right,
He
so he
felt like
just-
his opinion doesn't mean anything anyway.
Yeah.
It
So he
makes
just
it kind
rolls
of
with it.
worse, like not to jump ahead in anything, but because it's Snape, Snape does know where he came from, and he has some inner issues that
Which
if
you'll learn. You'll
yeah,
learn for it's,
you
it's
will
a
learn
beautiful, sad
he's-
story.
he's almost taking it out on Harry because
Yeah.
he sees things in him that he doesn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have a theory on Snape, but I'll say
Go
it.
for
and
it,
if I'm
go
wrong-
for it.
Oh wait, I
well,
thought
well,
Snape
we
was
won't give you
good.
He is.
well, not in the first movie. The first movie, he's a piece of shit.
He's
No.
Until you
I know
read-
we're like biting our
Oh,
shit
I
with the
didn't think he
spoilers.
was though. I saw behind it. I
He's
saw
one of my
some. I
favorites.
saw
That's
depth in
all I'm
his
gonna say.
character. I didn't.
Always.
I knew it wasn't him.
See, I fell hook, line, and sinker for this movie, which I thought was cool because I felt like usually I'm the one who kind of sniffs it out because of like being a pro wrestling fan and I'm gonna look behind the storyline. No, I fell for this movie.
so
Like,
you didn't know it was sorry.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen the movie and we're
listen, there's spoiler
unpacking
alerts.
things.
So
I didn't know who it was at first.
So
but
when
I
they
knew-
were doing the whole thing, like,
No spoilers, but go ahead.
well, no, we're gonna spoil this first movie, but we're not gonna talk.
No, I
ahead
mean
it.
like for this, like you
Yeah.
and I are like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going into this, I was like, oh, Snape's bad, and he's the evil one
looks
here,
bad, yeah,
and
but-
everything, and then you end up finding like we'll get to
appearances
that.
are interesting.
Yeah. So Harry gets to school. We're jumping too far ahead. So Harry gets
Yep,
to school.
yep.
We'll
Um,
stay. We'll stay.
well, he meets Hermione also on the train.
Yes.
Yes.
And she
Hermione.
fixes his glasses, which she does several times throughout the series.
There's some tension between between Ron and Hermione, where he's like annoyed by her, like she's
course.
almost too goody. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I
Like,
know
who does
everything.
She, think she is.
Yeah, to the point where like we find out when they get to the school that like it really hurts her feelings that she
Oh,
because
that
she
scene.
works really hard to like learn everything. She's
Mhm.
almost like the class pet. Like
So-
she's I know everything, and he's like I know everything, I know everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So something really funny about that, they had to actually retake so many scenes that she was in because she would mouth the other people's lines while she was in the shot. So like she'd say her
She'd be
line
there and she'd be like-
and Ron would
So
have to
sh-
say something and she'd be mouthing it with them because she knew the whole script
Yeah.
in
So
like
good
real
for her.
So she
It
is
was
Hermione.
typecasting.
Yeah.
Typecasting, yeah.
So,
So
she,
I
she's
just-
Emma
Emma
Watson is brilliant.
So Emma Watson is a
She is very.
A go-getter,
Doesn't she have
she-
a degree
yeah.
from Brown or something?
I think so. She's
Mm.
absolutely
recall
brilliant.
that.
And didn't she speak in front of the UN and shit like that?
Yes, she did. Yeah.
Brilliant.
She's
Yeah.
very intelligent.
So she
Um,
is Hermione, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, that little dynamic that like she's trying very hard to fit in as well, and she doesn't realize that her overdoing it is maybe pushing people
Right.
away, where she
And-
thinks it's
It's the
benefiting her.
overachiever.
She
Yeah.
also comes
mentality.
from almost a similar world to Harry because like both of her parents are normal. And Harry was raised by two
so
normal
she's kind of
people.
like the Batman of the series, where she has no superpowers in a world of superheroes, so she's working extra hard to be a good student, so she can not be
Right.
normal.
Right.
Interesting. I didn't know. Like I didn't know that background.
Yeah.
Did the term I can't remember in the first
Muggle.
movie? Did the Muggle, but also did the term mudblood come up in the first movie?
It might
no,
have.
I
I-
didn't hear it.
it
okay,
might- it-
then I won't
Malfoy's-
say anything about it.
It might have, but it went. It
Oh,
might have
Malfoy
went-
might have said it. Well,
Yeah.
the term mudblood
Yeah.
is the slur, the class's
Yeah,
slur,
it's dirty blood.
dirty blood,
Used
because
to Hermione.
it's somebody that is born of not magical lineage. So both of her parents are not magic, like wizards or witches, whatever, and she is.
I think
So
it's. I think it also falls under if also one parent.
If
like,
one.
if
Is that the
you're-
criteria? Like, what's the criteria to get invited to this wizard school?
you're just
if you're a wizard, if
yeah.
you're born one, then you kind of, I guess, show up on like their radar. And
So, do
just
you ever
kinda get a
find out
letter.
how she gets invited any at all?
You don't. I mean, at least in the movies, there may be
Yeah.
in the book, but there
I
are
didn't read
other
the books, but
schools
yeah.
that you can go to.
Yep.
But Hogwarts.
Ilvermorny is the North American school.
Which one?
Ilvermorny, which I think just recently came out. Then there is, we'll when we get to the Triwizard Cup, that'll
Yeah.
all come out.
Right.
Yeah. So there's it might have came up the term, but it might have went over my head because I didn't know anything about
I
it.
feel like it's
I
number
didn't-
2 because
Yeah.
they really
I didn't
hit
hear
that
it.
one.
Mhm.
in
I'll be
number
honest,
2.
I didn't hear it, and I just
There might
watched
not
it.
have
Like
been.
it's fresh in my
Because
mind.
you're just still getting introduced to all the
Right.
kids and all the Malfoy's like
Ron,
shittiness. so-
Alexis, Ron's her favorite, which makes sense because
Aw.
Ron also comes from a very large family.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Which
hmm
you don't like. I
Mm.
know we're not jumping ahead, but you really like in the opening of number 2, for the most part
Yeah.
of the movie, you really dive into his family life and like
It's pretty beautiful.
all of it, and
Yeah.
they are.
Um.
It's great.
Yeah.
So all right, we get to the school. Harry meets for the first time the kid from the Slytherin school, the little shithead. That's
I hate him
He's
so
not
much.
Slytherin yet.
Yeah,
But he will be in
he-
like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he pretty much has said like, I'm gonna be Slytherin. You should me and you should hang out because
We should be swiveling together.
we could we can do great things together.
Mhm.
And then Harry kind of sees through him and he goes, I think I know the company you are, and I don't want that kind of company.
Yeah.
I think I found my 2 ride or dies, and I'm gonna stick with them. So then they go and they do their hat ceremony. The hat, I guess, is that what he is, right?
The
Sorting
sorting
hat.
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
You're right. You're right. It was
Right.
just fun. The hat.
So first kid goes up, little pudgy kid. He goes up. He gets Gryffindor.
Neville.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then Ron goes up. He gets Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Then the kid comes up. He gets Slytherin. Hermione gets Gryffindor. I'm sure there's other people in there. I'm just not remembering.
I don't think there. I think it's pretty much the main.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
there someone else
Pop up.
besides Neville? Neville is the one. Is he the one that's always burning things?
No, that's
That-
Seamus. Is that
Seamus,
name?
the
Yeah.
Scottish
Yeah, 'cause
boy.
he
He's
always
also
blows
Gryffindor.
things up.
Neville's
Uh-huh.
Neville's the kid that fucks up on the broom the first time.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no.
Oh wait.
It's
That's
not.
Neville.
Neville.
Neville fucks up on the broom. Seamus is
Isn't
the
that what you
one
said?
who
Yeah.
blow. Oh,
Yeah, I
thought you
said Neville was
Yeah.
the kid who they put the horse
Seamus
sword.
is
in.
Seamus is the one that
with
blew
the
it up
feather
and got it
and
all.
like-
Like every time you see him, he has
Yeah.
black stuff. on
Seamus
it.
is always catching things on fire.
Yeah.
Fun fact, when I first saw the movie, I was just like, I'm kind of into Seamus. I was
Yeah.
like, he's a little chaotic. I like him.
Well, he's a kind of bad boy.
I was 6 years old, going, oh,
He
hey,
likes
Seamus.
burn stuff down. So it's so strange watching them as kids and then like seeing them like
They were such
like
babies.
such like yeah, it's crazy. So Harry goes up and the hat's like, oh, like I sense Slytherin, and he's like, no, it's Slytherin, and he's like,
It's like,
no,
but
it's
you would do
Slytherin.
well.
He's like, you would
Not
do very well,
Slytherin,
yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
I love that hat. That hat's got a good personality.
I know,
So
right?
the
It's
hat,
so
it
funny.
seemed like the hat wanted to put him in Slytherin, and then also said you would be a good Hufflepuff. He said something about Hufflepuff,
Yeah, he did.
and he goes, "But I think Gryffindor." And then they're all happy because they're like, "He's with us."
Yeah.
One of us. One of
And then a bunch of ghosts come out.
Mhm.
Yep.
Nearly headless Nick.
Nearly Headless Nick. Do you know who he is?
No.
John Cleese
Thought he looked familiar.
from Monty Python.
Oh, I never
He
really got
plays,
into Monty
Mhm.
Python.
What, Ralph or Rolf?
Well, here's my question.
Something. Yeah.
So if you're a dead wizard, you can still kind of be in the school as a ghost.
Yeah.
Why isn't Harry's parents flying around?
Was he a wizard? I don't know if nearly headless. Like none of the ghosts.
I don't really
like.
know.
I know the Red Baron and stuff's a ghost that floats around,
Yeah.
but I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying
if
if
Like
you
the
Moaning
actual-
Myrtle.
I'm just saying, if you
too,
had
like-
the ability to live inside of a painting or live inside of
I
as a
believe-
ghost.
Yeah.
That's I know.
That's a whole
That's
other-
a whole other.
I was told they
'Cause
are
I
wizards.
think-
Like I was told that they are wizards who
Speaking of
live
flying
there.
around, a fly
There.
just came around out of nowhere.
Yeah, I
Now
saw
there's a
that.
fly flying around.
I wonder if it was because we're getting ahead here. It has something to do with Voldemort killing them and him being cursed.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it also goes
didn't read the
into
books.
like the truth behind illusion, like the science behind ghosts, where it's just like ghosts that people that die of very traumatic experiences
Mhm.
sometimes are suspended within their reality, other than
Yeah.
making peace with it and leaving.
And I
Right.
mean,
And
if you
they
think
So
about
nearly
it,
headless Nick, he like is nearly headless, so he
Right.
dies, and he's just like,
Where
"Hello, here's my head," and it's just like very
Harry's mom,
traumatic.
for instance, died protecting Harry.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I mean, after that, like, would you want to stick around?
She did her
Mhm.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so then they go up, they get put in
Chills,
their
I
living
love it.
quarters, which is kind of cool because it's behind a painting, and all the
Mhm.
paintings
Mhm.
kind of move and they're alive,
Yeah.
and it's kind of interesting. You don't really
And
get to see much; it's kind of a lore.
Actually, speaking of the painting, on the train he gets Dumbledore on
yeah,
his
on
Chocolate
his
Frog
card, chocolate. Yep.
and Ron's like, "Oh, I got like 10 of those," and then he looks back down and he's gone, and he's like, "Well, what did you expect him to do? Be there all day? Like he's
I
got
love
things
that.
to do."
That's such a good thing.
Yeah.
He's
Like-
got things to do.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's.
But he's
yeah.
on like hundreds of cards and hundreds of packs.
So
but
it's like
yet
he's standing there, like within his daily duties, just like I'm on his
Yeah.
card right now. It's like no, I'm on his card.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, when Harry, one other thing that kind of really caught my attention or caught my thing is when Harry shows up, and they're about to put the hat on him. Like everyone's kind of chilled, relaxed. Like you could tell they're professors and they've been here before, and they're like, "Oh my god, this part of this fucking thing." Like they don't really care. And then Harry
They say
gets
his
up
name, and
and-
everyone's like,
and Dumbledore
Yeah.
he leans forward. he's-
McGonagall sits up real
everyone's
McGonagall-ish.
like it kind of sets a tone as like this kid is gonna be a big deal because
Snape sits there and like glares at him.
yeah, everyone's
Mhm.
like everybody wants to figure out what's happening here, right? So then we get into we're just kind of go a little quicker here, but like so he becomes on this team, the sport, what
the
hell-
Quidditch
Quidditch.
team, yeah,
And
because he
Seeker.
rescues Neville's remember all.
Yeah,
And
during when they're teaching how to use the broom and they're going through classes and they're going through different. I'm just trying to speed up a little bit. And then
I
he
talk
gets
about this for hours.
yeah.
I
Then
know,
he
right?
gets
I'll tell you the whole movie.
Yeah, then he gets appointed as a
Seeker.
seeker, which is in
Which
the
my
game.
first girl crush was the coach. That's how I knew when I was a little
Okay.
baby. I was just kind of like that coach.
Yeah,
I was like that's how he was by.
You
Anyway,
knew, you knew.
I knew.
Now, so he is good on it. He's proficient on the broom, so he gets first year in he gets put on the team, which is
Right, it's very
unheard of,
unusual.
But
But
his his father was also
A seeker.
We're like-
a seeker as like a we'll say like a freshman.
Mhm.
And he has a trophy and all yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they have their first game. Now this is where I bought into the thing where maybe Snape is
Snape.
bad because he's trying to sabotage Harry.
Heidi.
Yep.
But like if he is good, then they never really explain why he tries to sabotage him.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he
He's
doesn't.
not.
So
he's doing
they-
he's doing a protection
yeah.
spell to keep Harry
Quirrell
alive.
is the one that is cursing the broom. And the only reason it stopped is because he broke eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
Because
fire.
When you're
so
cursing
if you watch that
somebody.
scene back, if you look at Quirrell,
He's also doing stuff. Yeah. But you
Yes.
don't pay
You have to look-
attention to that because
Because Snape is like,
And who's going to
so
suspect
Snape is
Quirrell?
keeping
which
can't
he
even
even
say-
says at the end,
Yeah.
he was like, Quiffling, Professor Quirrell.
I couldn't even get the
It was
words
an
out. I
act.
started like,
Yeah.
It was an act
So
the whole
Mhm.
time.
the reason Harry was able to hang on to the broom is because Snape was
Snape's
keeping
protecting him.
Yeah.
Snape was
And you'll
keeping
find
him
out so
alive.
many more things
it.
about that
I
later.
didn't even
Like
know that
once you watch the movies all the way through, I highly recommend watching them again. I know it's gonna
Oh, yeah.
because
because
you know
you
to look for.
right.
Mhm.
There's so much that you unpack, especially with Snape, and you're like,
And then you watch it back
Oh.
and you're just like,
it's a whole other light.
Well,
that Snape's
going
in.
into this movie, I'm like, man, I want to like Snape because he's a really fucking good actor.
mhm.
Did you ever see the CBGB movie with him?
No.
Oh, it's so good. So it's about an actual bar, but he plays the guy who created the bar, the CBGB, which is like a huge, big deal when it comes to the music scene in the New York area. And he plays the
Alan Rickman.
Alan. And he was so good. Alan Rickman was amazing.
He
in
was
it.
in my favorite Christmas movie,
Which one?
Die Hard.
Oh yeah, he was
Best
in Die Hard.
Christmas movie ever. I love that somebody else
Um,
knows that's a Christmas
yes.
movie.
So
yes.
they win their first game, and now the whole thing with the school too is your school semester. Everyone gets points based
Mhm.
on what they do
Yes.
as their
Yeah. So you
As a
can
house
gain or
individually.
lose them.
Mhm.
based on what you
So
do.
it's like casting honor onto your house, like
Yeah.
whenever you.
And
do
then they
something
also
good.
find because the little trio here is they're very curious and they're searching
Mhm.
things out and they start putting pieces together that there's something hidden in a room and they're trying to seek it and then they go into a room with a giant 3-headed Serbius dog and then
yes.
um,
Fluffy.
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 yeah and they're so the whole time this is going on, they're learning the beginning of the school process, but they're also uncovering a conspiracy.
Why is it always you three?
Yeah, it's always you three.
Yeah. They're trying to they're uncovering a conspiracy as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like the entire time that Snape is behind it.
Yeah.
Or so they
And
think.
actually, to speak to that, when Quirrell lets in the troll,
Well, Snape.
when Snape shows up, he has this big cut on his leg that he like Harry notices, and he's like,
And he's
"Oh
like,
shit,
"Don't
I'm
look at
covering
me."
that up." Yeah.
And then Harry.
I'm moody.
Then Harry gets a gift from he doesn't know who, but he gets an invisibility cloak, which he uses to find a book.
Which was his father's, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He finds a book to find out some more information. Then he ends up seeing Snape kind of jacking up what's his name in the hallway, the dude,
Mm-hmm.
and like Harry's like, oh, you're 100% the bad guy now
That's how I knew Snape was good.
from that
Because there's
part.
always who you
Yes.
least expect.
And then Snape also kind of figured that somebody else was there because he was reaching out.
You know,
Yes.
I don't know if it's besides that moment, but people tend to notice that he's under that cloak more than I feel like they should.
Yeah, it's not that
Yeah,
great.
Like-
where people are just like they can smell him.
Like Dumbledore knows at one point, and he's like,
he
he
just-
like winks at him, like, how the fuck do you see this? Like,
I
Dumbledore is
bet they sense it
Dumbledore.
in the like in the air.
At
Like,
that
Yeah. 'Cause-
intuition.
Oh, Alexis
Yeah.
has been watching all the movies too, so I guess we've inspired her. So she's up to the fourth movie.
Oh,
but
buddy.
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
so I didn't get that far
Mhm.
yet.
Yeah.
I wonder if Snape, like as I said to you before, I only watched up to the third, but it was a little while ago. But some things are coming back. I wonder if I always guessed because of that scene and because Snape caught him in the hall. I wondered if Snape sent him the cloak.
Mhm.
That was a guess I had. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you never find out?
No, you never do find out. My
you never
hunch
find
was
out?
always Albus.
I always thought it was Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Oh, Dumbledore. Okay, that would make sense too.
And then
but I
then
just
he
thought
comes
it was
across a
Snape.
mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Aw.
mirror shows you your
What you most desire.
which
Yeah.
okay, but he thinks it shows the future. Like some people think it shows the
Yeah.
future,
Yes.
and then some people said it shows you. It helps you.
The point is, when he walks up to the mirror, he sees his parents standing next to
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, he keeps going back to the mirror, and Dumbledore's like, listen, I gotta move the mirror. Do not look for it again. Like, people have
Mhm.
gone crazy, you know,
Yes.
staring into
Yep.
this, and, like, just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then it
Yeah.
disappears until it shows up a little later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think where we are.
So then I guess they continue to investigate the Sorcerer's Stone.
Mhm.
Oh, they have detention.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know where we are in the storyline at this point, but
Well,
they
yeah,
do have
detention's the
detention.
They
next
get
big
detention
thing.
because then they got detention for
because Malfoy followed them,
yeah,
And ratted them out.
and then they all got
the
detention.
little shit that
And
he
then
is.
Hagrid lost his cute little dragon.
Norbert.
Aw.
Oh, then Hagrid takes him in the woods.
Yeah, for detention.
Yeah, and that's when they
They-
come across the Cerberus.
No.
No,
No,
the
that's inside.
unicorn.
Yeah.
Where they see a mysterious figure feeding off. Harry sees a mysterious figure feeding off unicorn blood, which is, of course, the cursed one.
Mhm.
And then he gets saved by a Minotaur
Minotaur. That's what I said. Cerberus. A Minotaur. The
who
only
never introduces himself.
never. The only.
No, I think it was more. I didn't watch the. I didn't watch the books. I didn't read the books, but like I think there's more. It goes more into depth with the centaur.
He's probably important. I was thinking he was probably an important
this
character.
this is the
Mhm.
only part
Or a
of the movie when
protector
it
of the
comes to
woods.
CGI that it showed its age.
Oh, it
Yeah.
does,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
It does. There are
Oh.
some moments, but like
Yeah.
as a whole for this series, like
It
I've said
looked
this so many
fantastic.
times
It was still
before.
good.
Those are the movies why I have such high standards for like CG stuff.
CGI. The dogs looked fantastic
Yeah.
They
for their
did.
time.
Mhm.
The only other time that I noticed where I thought CGI was like, oh, you could tell it's old school, is when what's his
The
name was
troll.
on the troll. No, I thought the troll looked good too.
When he's on the troll,
Well,
though.
I think
Or
what,
no.
Yeah.
I
When
think
it's
what
like,
really helps
"Ooh."
When
is
the act-
they don't show it for too long, and it's always like a blurred thing for the most
Yeah,
part.
you have
and
to
stuff,
really
and
be
it's like,
looking.
Yeah,
Like when he's on the broom and like the broom scenes when they're like they
Oh,
wreck on
They're
the
like
broom.
woo,
Mhm.
woo.
You can
Yeah.
tell when they're like CGI.
Yeah.
Yep.
So everything else I got, and then when the Minotaur showed up, I'm like, oh, yikes!
Yeah.
This was really 2000.
This is really oh boy.
Very early 2000.
Yeah, so the detention thing, then I completely forgot where we are right here.
So the Minotaur saves Harry, and then
They're uncovering the
Sorcerer's
yeah, they know
Stone.
someone's trying to steal it,
Mhm.
and they're saying they're saying Snape.
It's gonna be
yeah,
And there's
and
Professor Snape.
nobody's gonna believe them, so they go and do it themselves.
Mhm.
and they figure out all the obstacles.
Yeah.
And
They
then
played a game. The game of chess was a little too much for me. I'm
Really?
not gonna lie. Yeah, I was bored.
oh, it didn't bother me.
I was like,
I think
really?
it was I think it was one of those things where it's like it might have had like a better build up in the book, and then like in the movie it was just kind of like, well,
Rush.
this is kind of important,
Yeah.
so let's just throw it in really
This
quick.
is-
You
And
see
so it
them
was
play
like,
chess for like 2 seconds
yeah,
in the thing, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, that's Ron's deal. Like they throughout
Yeah.
these tasks,
I know.
they each have a deal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew that it was it was Ron's thing, but I was kind of like, oh my god, we're literally this whole thing is like a fucking chess game. Like that's where I was like, that's the only part of the movie I was like, can we let's go,
Mhm.
Hurry it up. Hurry it
let's
up.
go, yeah.
So then they decide Harry has to go forward by himself,
Yeah.
sacrifice themselves, and he's face to face with Squirrel, I believe his name is.
Quarrel.
Quirrell,
Squirrel.
Yeah.
I could never hear his name
Quibbling Professor Quirrell.
because of
Yeah.
his.
And Harry has the stone.
Well, he finds it because
Yeah, he doesn't
of,
know he has it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
because of how Dumbledore set it up. That if you were looking for it but didn't want to use it, you could find it, and there it
Mhm.
was in his pocket.
It is pretty
Yeah,
neat.
because
He
the mirror
the
told him.
mirror shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
he
he's
tries to,
there
like,
and he's
trick
like
him.
pulling it out.
And there it was.
And then we find out that the reason he's wearing his turban is because he has the spirit of Voldemort in his body as a
On the
In
back
his
of his
head.
head.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's
like
sharing.
a
It's
parasite.
yeah, like a parasite. Exactly.
So,
Yeah, so gross.
full disclosure,
It was
that
weird.
part was like, meh.
Show him to me.
I don't fully understand that part.
It is
why
odd.
why
I'm
that
not-
parasite? Like I understand from like 2 on the things that they do
Mhm.
to keep Voldemort alive,
Mhm.
but that one I was just that was a little confusing.
Yeah, I was like,
Maybe-
was
I
that
almost
a-
wonder if the Horcruxes have something
See-
to do with it. Like, cause like at like I mean,
Like he doesn't have a human body, but he like latched on.
because
Quirrell.
in I mean like this
well, did
is
he
just
do a
side-
spell to like summon him to be a parasite? Like they don't.
I don't know.
He
'Cause I
doesn't
mean-
have a physical body at this point.
'Cause, I
He's
mean,
a
like,
spirit.
I mean,
Yeah.
sidebar, like, because then, like, towards like the end, and you see
Yeah,
him shriveled again.
right.
So that's why I'm thinking it's like a Horcrux thing, where
Yeah.
he's like in the process of becoming back into the world, where it's just like him, like it's just like
So that's interesting because
Mhm.
it's like if he would have succeeded, would he have like eaten his body and like
And took over it?
reversed like
Into,
where
like, an
Quirrell would
entity?
eventually would have been the back of Voldemort's head?
until he
And
was like
then, like-
non-existent,
Yeah.
until he took it over.
Yeah, who knows?
Like I mean,
could s-
obviously
they
we'll
don't. They
never
don't
know,
explain
but-
it. You just all of a sudden, the
Yeah.
guy who killed his parents is now on the back of this dude's head.
Yeah,
The fight scene was, and then Harry,
It was very quick,
and
It
then,
was
and
very
then Harry
quick.
turns him into ash.
Yeah.
It seemed like,
but there's a reason for that.
yeah.
You won't know
I know.
until later, but there's a reason.
So Harry turns him into ash. So it seemed like all right. So here's where I went. The
Is
entire.
Is it because he has the phoenix feather in his
No.
wand?
Mm-mm.
Or is it because he touched the sorcerer's stone?
No, it's. Can I just tell you?
No, no.
It has something to do with the first movie.
You can
I
tell
promise.
me.
Okay.
I don't mind
So,
spoilers. You can tell me.
Because
Watch the rest of the movies.
her mom.
I'm gonna watch him anyway, but I
because
just
Harry's
can't
mom
wait.
sacrificed himself
Yeah.
or herself. It was an old form of magic that it was like a cover of protection.
The mother's
On
love.
Harry.
Mother's
So
love.
he and actually Dumbledore talks about this at the end of the movie when he's in the
Aw.
hospital.
So he can't die?
it's not a spoiler of any kind.
Yeah,
that's
it is in the
right. I was
movie.
just gonna say he
Yeah.
said that.
the
He
mother's
said that
He's
Mother's
like, do you
love.
know why he couldn't touch you or bear to touch you?
because of a mother's
Because of that
Yeah.
scar.
So he can't die.
Aw.
So technically, he like if Voldemort tries, or no matter what he does, he can't really
Oh
get
my
to him.
gosh.
And
You just figured it out. You just
Yeah.
figured it out. No
Yeah.
matter
I can't.
what.
I can't answer anything.
all right.
Don't
Yeah.
ask questions
And
to
then-
this side of the table.
Yeah, and then the thing too. Every single time that evil is approaching or something is.
It's whenever-
that can maybe attack that his scar hurts.
Well, it's
When-
Voldemort.
It's only when
Voldemort.
Voldemort's
specifically.
near,
Yeah.
because he's
And
the one
there's
that
so many
caused
reasons
it.
for that.
Yeah.
I
Do
thought
they
it was
get
'cause he
into that in the
caused
first
it.
movie as to why? Yes, yeah, because he was the one that went to go do it. It's that scar. It's like there's a little bit of his
Curse on him.
his that Voldemort like magic curse in him.
Yeah,
so it's
I
like
figured
it's
that.
like they're almost bonded by that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he-
So whenever
there's-
he's near, he's like, because he can feel him coming.
I was wondering because of that. I figured that out because I know enough about like fantasy and magic just for my interest, but also
Yeah, I'm coming in this with very little of any of that realm at all.
I love this
Yeah.
realm. I don't know
Same.
why I waited so long to watch these movies. But the other thing I noticed too, which I think is also a reason that they're bonded, if you paid attention, which I know
Might be
you
the
guys
longest
did.
knock in high school ever. I like
Yeah,
it though.
but
I know, right? I don't
It's
mind.
worth it, yeah.
We'll put timestamps.
Yeah.
We'll put
No, we
time-
won't.
And
You're
I
right. Tony will put timestamps, not us.
no, we
I'll
won't.
go through, and I'll give you the times, and you can just post them.
You go ahead. You rewatch it and give me the timestamp.
I will.
All right.
The other thing too is, which I'm sure you guys noticed, as diehard fans or and all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
in the wands-
I don't know if you know. I have a scarf now.
Well, I'm going to Hot Topic tomorrow in order.
They have a bunch of
some
them.
stuff,
I
and I'm
want
showing
one
up
of the
next
robes.
week
There
with my
is-
Hoodies?
garb.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you won't get the cream puff brand, but the Halloween store has a whole bunch of Harry Potter stuff.
What?
Which Halloween store?
The Spirit
They
Halloween.
never have Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff. It's always like only
Solid.
Gryffindor and
That's my
then
name for
maybe
you
a
guys.
Slytherin.
And
You
Death
cream
Eaters
puffs.
now.
Yeah.
We've crossed the
I'll
line
get-
to Death Eaters.
But like, I can't get any like cool Hufflepuff merch.
Yeah, nobody likes.
I'm
The,
getting,
You go to Hot Topic,
I'm
though.
getting Hufflepuff and Gryffindor. I'm just gonna get both.
nobody likes the
But
cream
I'm-
puffs.
Well, we're special.
We do. And it doesn't mean anything anymore because she's canceled. But we were we were J.K. Rowling's favorite house.
So you guys are the evil
So
ones.
we're canceled now.
Well, we like ourselves, so it's
If,
okay.
when you go to when you go to Hot Topic,
We're so
if they-
underrated,
if
but
they
everybody
have-
wants us
If
around.
they have the Gryffindor scarf,
They do.
send me the price, how much it is, and then I'll PayPal you.
$24.95.
I'll be ordering
that's
tomorrow.
probably how much this
Because if it's
was.
like $20, I'll get it. But if it's like 30 or 40, I'm not getting. I'm not
So-
paying-
It depends if you're in the park or
I'm
not.
not paying that for a scarf.
So 30 or below.
Yeah,
Okay.
25 and below.
25 or below.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
$23.95.
So I like
and
to
below.
collect scarves.
Yeah.
I have a lot of scarves.
Honestly, they're probably not going to be the warmest coming from Hot Topic. If you want one that's like that, you want to go to the park because a lot of their stuff, like my Gryffindor and Slytherin sweaters
You
that
already
I
have an
got.
OG one that's just been crocheted for
Right.
you.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's for
It doesn't
football,
have- it
but
doesn't
maybe
have
same
the
thing.
crest.
Maybe we can just
put little tassels
we can
on the
just
end
Put
and call it a day.
is
He
there a
needs the
tassel there?
crest.
There's probably, I mean, it's the crest. I
He
mean, you
wants the
can
crest.
go on to Amazon, find a $3 Gryffindor like crest because they're the most popular ones. So you can get one for $3
we're
and
the
just
best.
like
because everybody
so-
hates Hufflepuff.
'Cause we're the
Whatever.
best.
That's why you're a goddamn Gryffindor.
'Cause we're the best.
the best.
The best. All right, back to the movie.
Anyway,
So anyway, I
Yeah.
had another observation that I noticed that they were bonded was when he went to the wand store and pointed out that there was one other
yes.
person that
Yeah.
had the phoenix
So
feather in his wand, and it was very interesting because thou who shall not be named had it in his wand. Well, so I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Why did this wand pick Harry, and why did this wand pick Voldemort? That's very weird. I would like to hear more about that. I'd like to know right now. I don't want to wait 8
Nicola's
movies.
like,
well,
well,
Don't tell me right now.
Oh, well, I'll tell
You're
ya.
I
waiting.
got
You're
this.
waiting.
Oh, well,
You're
I'll tell
waiting.
ya.
I'm not
Listen.
waiting.
So-
Waiting.
a wand can have other phoenix feathers, but this particular
It's
phoenix
the same phoenix,
left only 2 feathers.
just 2.
Yes.
There's a
And
reason.
it's in
Its
2 different-
brother was the one that gave Harry his scar.
Are they related?
What?
Are they related?
Who?
Harry and Voldemort?
No, just the wands.
And
Yeah,
okay,
'cause
I
they're
just
the
wanted
same
to know.
feather.
Harry and the Phoenix. Are they really?
Yes, Harry and the Bird.
Wow,
Are they,
Harry
are
and the
sh-
Phoenix.
So
Great band
here's,
name.
Here's what's happening for people who are listening audio only. Bree is digging, right? She's
I need to know.
and Nikolai wants to crack so bad.
I just
White.
wanna-
He's white knuckling.
Yeah.
He's like,
he can't
just
handle
let me
it.
spoil all the
No,
movies.
no.
Just
And
tell
all my
me.
friends know I don't care about spoilers.
well, then
You
we
can
know.
ask them.
Well, then we know next
'Cause
week we
I-
have to do the second
Because
one.
I want to
I'm
watch
not waiting.
these. I want to watch this. No, we can't. We'll probably take the rest of this Halloween month off to do like horror
Watch
stuff.
them on your own,
Spooky
though.
stuff.
Yeah, we are. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch part 2 probably tomorrow.
I'm watching them again. I'm just ready to go home and watch it now.
I know. I'm about to go watch the second one.
Yeah, I'm listen. This is what the group chat's for too. So if we watch part 2, we can have like a whole thread. You know,
Good.
we could talk.
I just-
The Harry Potter was the first thread I put up where I said I'm watching this for the show, and a lot of people responded to it, and it had a
Yeah.
lot of
Well,
interaction.
It's Harry Potter.
Yeah. So definitely,
entire
if
universe.
you're watching stuff, put it in the group chat. Sometimes it catches. We
Okay,
can have good
I'm
conversations.
watching Order of the Phoenix currently.
And that's where I get my answers, don't I?
Yeah.
Order
No.
I'm just gonna
I
skip
don't
right
know.
ahead.
What
I have no idea
answers?
what's happening.
What
She's so
answers? I guess
impatient.
is the
Bree's
better
so impatient.
question.
I just want to know why the same Phoenix gave 2 quote unquote
Oh,
mortal enemies
You
the
will,
same the same
you will
feathers.
never know that.
It's just kind of like a birth of the universe, where it's
Yeah.
just kind of like the predestination,
that's-
where it's
that's-
like only 2, one for Voldy, one for Harry.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't like that. There has
And
to be a reason.
I also
You don't
wonder
just-
if he didn't have the scar, if he would have had that wand.
Probably
Oh,
not.
Good
Interesting.
point.
Because
good point.
it's almost in a way, since a part of Voldemort is inside of him,
Yeah.
that Voldemort's getting a new wand.
Yeah.
Oh, because he doesn't have his wand because it broke.
Yeah.
I know that.
So we're right here at the end. So at the end,
Mhm.
Harry goes back up. Everything's great. He gets a gift basket of more stuff, but the chocolate frogs have been eaten by
Yeah,
Ron.
Ron let him go.
Yeah, Ron let them go again. Then they
You
go
gotta talk
down.
about the jelly beans.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
jelly
yeah.
beans are mentioned.
The
That I'll
boogie
never
flavored.
eat. I was given them multiple times, but I'm not
next
eating them.
Harry Potter
never.
podcast where I'm bringing them.
Don't you
Just
dare!
give
All-
me,
Just
Listen,
give me the
I
good
was going
flavors.
to, but I opened it all a couple days ago when I started rewatching them, and I ate all the good flavors. All it's left is like earthworm earwax and
I'm not eating
all
them.
those crazy ones.
Tony will actually throw up on stream.
We played it at Fye while on
No,
work.
no, these are worse.
I know, no,
Yep.
we opened up a box of them and ate them at Fye, and someone ate the puke one, and then they kept breathing on me, and I was like, I'm going to
Get-
throw up. And here's the thing, like, once that train leaves the station, it's there for a while. Because once I puke, like, I don't have a problem puking. Like, I'll laugh while I'm puking. I have no,
Oh, I
like,
can't.
yeah. Like,
I'll laugh while you're puking.
I'll have a great
I'll
time.
puke while everybody's puking.
I'll have a great time
It'll
with
be a
it.
chain effect.
And I have a real bad gag reflex.
I do too.
I can't gurgle
That's why.
mouthwash. If I try to scrape my tongue, like when I try to brush my thing, I'm like,
Well, then I'll be
Right,
puking,
right.
and then multiple people will be
but
puking.
the problem is once
Turn
I
it
throw
off.
up, it's not a once and done. Because once I gag to the point where then I'm like I puke and I'm like, well, this has to happen at least 5 more times, because I'm already in the mind state where I have to get it all out, even though there's nothing there.
You'll have to put a graphic up for puke meter.
Puke alert, yeah.
Puke alert.
That's what the name of this podcast will be.
Yeah, puke
Episode
alert.
70.
Episode 70, puke alert. No, I just named it episode 70, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, you
how
should have just named it booger flavored.
Booger flavor, yeah. So, all right. So then they go down to the table and they're getting their points to find out who the head house is.
Yeah, they do.
And the head house
Slytherin.
is Slytherin. But
So lame.
because
Sorry.
of the actions,
We're
Uh,
we're snacking at our table. We don't care. We're just like, good for you.
because of the actions of Harry, they are rewarded bonus points.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the winner of the house.
Well, hold on. There's
Oh,
you just
sorry.
like cut out so much in that
Okay.
moment.
Okay.
There's multiple awards.
They lost by a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, yeah.
Harry gets points. Then
Ron.
for services to school, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, without going too deep into it, and everything's tied up. Griffin and Slytherin, and then Dumbledore's like, I'm going to reward 5 points to Neville because it's hard to stand up to an enemy, but it's even harder to stand up to your
a
friend.
Mm-hmm.
And because he
Baby Neville.
was so mad
Yeah.
at that, he was like, I don't want Gryffindor in trouble anymore when they were going on this thing.
I'll fight you.
He was ready to fight them and stuff. And
Yep.
Hermione just pulls out his wand and like freezes them and he falls over.
Yep.
It's
fight
like
you
he
with my
grants
bare
that 5
hands.
extra points and Gryffindor wins and Slytherin's like, you know what, fuck you guys.
Gryffindor the best. Gryffindor number 1.
No scarf
Um,
for you.
You're already falling right into the stereotype.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, and then I guess that's pretty much it. Just ends there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, they go home.
Yeah, he has to go back to his terrible family.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He does go home. I forgot about that part. I kind of blocked it out. All right. So, I liked the entire movie up until when they start doing the trials, and then I'm gonna be like from there.
Trial?
Yeah, when they're going through the chests and they're doing all that stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
I started fucking around. on
Or
my
like the
phone.
obstacles in order.
Yeah,
for them
I
to,
just
like,
started fucking around my phone, and I kind of like from there to the end, I kind of tuned out. It just because I felt like they were building such a cool pace, and then they got to this point, and it was like super rushed.
because it was
They
one of those
did.
things where it's important to the story and the character development that was really probably well touched on in the books, but
Yeah.
because it was the movie, it was just like, here's all the great stuff. All right, throw this quick in. Okay, now we're here. So it's
Yeah,
like,
so it was like, oh, we're
Yep.
learning about the school, we're learning about the characters, we're learning about this, we're learning about that, and then like the trial comes, and it's like, pew, end of movie.
But also too, it's like you've got that learning point from each of them throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like you didn't
So,
necessarily need
going into
her to
Harry-
be like, I'm super smart.
Yeah,
We already knew this.
going
Yeah.
into
She
Harry,
knows that.
going into Harry Potter movie 1, how many books are out by the point of the first release of the movie?
I don't know.
I think
Yeah,
like
that's
3
okay.
or 4.
Like when
Yeah.
you
yeah,
go,
definitely not
when
all
you're
of them.
going into
Yeah.
the theater at a
I'd say
younger
3
age
or
and you're
4.
watching Harry Potter 1, you know Harry Potter 2 is coming, right?
No,
Oh,
no, you
oh, movie wise, no. The books weren't popular
mean-
until the movies were popular.
right. So like, I mean,
my
that's kind
sister
of like a
and brother
movie
read them.
now. I mean, if a movie comes out, and I'm gonna actually speak towards Harry Potter in this, so I'm a super nerd and I pay attention to weird things. Harry does not have the same wand that he does that you can get at like Universal and all those things. He doesn't get that wand until number 3. His wand never breaks, but
They changed
switch it.
Yeah, they switched it to make it
and
more.
I feel like it was because none of them had like customized versions of wands.
It was
just more
marketing thing.
generic.
Like we
Right.
could sell
Right.
stuff here.
It's like plain boring wands in the movie compared because Hermione's wand, which I said I was going to bring and I forgot. I'm sorry, I'll bring it next week. Is covered in vines,
Yeah.
and I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure somebody has a wand with like antlers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. So they,
Yeah.
then they when they realized this was a marketing thing, they changed things
Right.
up to sell stuff.
And like too, it's like you don't necessarily know how popular something is going to be for
Until
things. Right.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's
a
like
thing.
a weird time to be like, how much energy do we put into a stick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Versus later down the road, it's like, oh well, like you were saying, like people pay money to have Harry's stick, and then
Yeah.
people will also pay to have Hermione and Ron.
Wands.
And
Stick sounds weird.
no, I know. I'm
They're
just saying,
kids,
like,
Nikolai. Jesus.
I get that,
Hashtag.
but that's not the point. The point is like when you're looking at it at a studio, it's like you're not saying
Mhm.
it's a wand.
Yeah.
You're looking at it as
Fast forward 10 years and now there's makeup brushes with every individual wand.
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I
really?
wanted
They're
them.
really cool.
So bad.
So
I wanted them
did.
so my mom
And I
was going to
didn't
get
even
them for
watch
me
it.
and they were all sold out.
Oh, they're like $10 on Mercari. There's
Are
like
they?
tons of them. I was gonna buy them. They have them in
Wait.
all different colors.
Makeup brushes.
Yeah.
Don't mind if I
$10. They're
do.
not used, right?
No. They're all. I don't know if they're
I'll
like the
probably
original
purchase-
brand. I don't remember ever seeing them besides like
Yeah.
on those.
So
Oh,
so
alright.
so for me to kind of wrap it up here, I enjoyed the movie, right? Do I like because I know some people in the comment section when we talked are like this is it's the best of this series.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't like it wasn't like oh this is a it didn't blow me away type movie. Like it wasn't a movie that's like oh this is something I would watch 1,000 times. But that being said, I think once this whole movie series is done,
You're going to love
it's gonna be like Iron Man 1 because you like Iron Man 1 was a good movie, right? But you didn't know that anything else is gonna come from Iron Man 1. And then when you get to Endgame Part 2 and you realize that it all spanned from that first movie, I think that's where people think Part 1 is the greatest because it was the launching point.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So for me, as someone who very first watched the movie, I loved the beginning, and then when it got towards the end, I felt like it flew by, and then I was kind of tuned out.
Mhm.
But it did take me completely out that I don't want to watch Part 2. So I am vested and I want to see more of the movie. But the first, I mean, I'm not saying I don't think it was like a 9 out of 10 movie, 8 like I would just say like it was like a 7.5 out of 10 if I had to do like a scale rating. I didn't hate it because I think the beginning part were normally that realm of that fantasy or like when those beginning like Game of Thrones took me like 4 times to watch season 1 to be like oh, I don't know if I want to fucking do this because they're talking about places, things and stuff that I didn't know. But I thought Harry Potter did it in a way because you're going into it with Harry
Mhm.
with no knowledge.
Yep.
So you're learning at the same time
Along this-
Harry is.
as the protagonist.
You know what I mean? Where I think a lot of times you're hit with the protagonist and you're like, this protagonist already knows his backstory and knows everything, and sometimes in the audience you're there for the ride at that point, then to learn everything later on in a flashback.
Right.
So I like the way they did this movie where
Because then you're learning it like as you grow up with them, like you grow
Right.
up with them.
yeah. So I thought that was done very well.
And that's why
it's
it's so-
enough for me to latch on. Like I'm into it. And then like I said, like the way they did the small things with the characters, and this is where I feel like a lot of you rub it off on me when it comes to like movies and dialogue. Because we were gonna work on a movie together, and you taught me a lot when it comes to like character building and how you're gonna go about doing this, and that a lot of that stuff that you've taught me has rubbed off when I now watch movies. Like how Ron is kind of like you could tell he's like without knowing much about Ron about part 2, you could tell he's come from like maybe a little bit of a poorer family because Harry doesn't really honor his clothing to the point where like he's not really like he's kind of like oh this is what I'm wearing and he kind of puts it on and it looks good but it's like it doesn't feel comfortable to him. His outfit doesn't feel comfortable. Ron, I've watched my brothers wear this the whole time, so his is kind of untucked and it's kind of like sloppy, and Hermione's is like on.
Pristine.
Pristine.
Yeah.
Like she honors what she's about because you can
Perfection.
without even knowing the backstory, just from what you're telling me, she wants to honor what she's
Those
about
visuals.
because she like
Mhm.
and those small visuals are like now I want to know more
Right.
about these characters.
And-
And there are things that I don't think people pick up on
Right.
movies.
They're definitely not.
But it's a
unless you're-
subconscious thing.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like unless someone puts it in front of you, you're never gonna.
And says,
Yeah.
"This is this," and you're
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
oh.
like even if you internally understand that that's why these
Yeah.
things are, unless it's like you hold up the mirror and like this is this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
You're
that's
like,
that's
"Oh,
that's
yeah."
the stupid things that I didn't research, and that's not something I was told or I didn't watch bonus extras. Like,
love
but,
those.
But they're
know,
they're the
I had
things that I
those,
watched in
but-
the movie, and I'm like, oh, they're telling a story, and because of you, when I see a character, I look at those things like how they wear their clothes or why they're doing certain things, because and then you kind of learn about the character before they even tell you the story,
Right.
Because of stuff like that. So I mean, I was vested,
Right.
But once I got to the middle and the end, I was kind of like, ugh.
And that's honestly why I say once you're done, rewatch them because
Yeah.
you pick up
It's
like
a different appreciation
right.
then.
You're like, I know what's gonna happen, but yet they've been telling you this whole time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like in
Which is
ways
the
that you
beauty of
wouldn't-
like the just the amount of time of creating that entire series. It's like from day one, and then you watch the whole series, and you come back and you watch like Snape's character, and you're just kind of
Mhm.
like at the first one from like 1999 or whatever, coming from like 10 years later, and you're just like the twinkle in his eye.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like
Oh, and then I mean, at the end of part one, then you realize Snape's not the bad guy. I don't think you really fully dive into how much he was actually helping yet in this first movie. Like they don't
it's
really.
a
mean-
whole roller coaster.
Quirrell tells Harry down there that like about the whole like if the fire wouldn't have happened, he wouldn't have lost his concentration, and that Snape was doing a counter curse type
And then,
thing.
and then Harry's like, "Oh, Snape's not a bad guy."
Yeah.
but
But then he sees Snape, and Snape's still like, "Fuck you."
he's got internal issues.
Yeah, he's like, I was helping you, but still, I know you know now that I was trying to help you, but still.
His love is conditional for a
Yeah,
reason.
and he's like, fuck you, Harry.
In rewatching them
Mhm.
all, in the end, you're going to find out that
Mm.
some of the characters you love that you think are so nice may not be.
So Hermione's an asshole.
No. I'm not saying that. But I'm
joking.
just saying, like, how we view Snape, where it's like
Oh,
he's
and-
built up to be a super bad guy, but later in the line and stuff, it's like,
You get disappointed by some of the characters.
yeah.
And then one
Their
other
intentions.
one other
Right.
character that jumped off the screen to me, as being a horror movie fan, the Leprechaun.
Oh
he's
yeah,
in it a lot.
he is.
He's one of the teachers.
He's the
way
choral
more than
director.
that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also
That actor passed away,
the-
right?
No.
Is he still alive?
No, I'm pretty
not
sure
him.
he's still
That's Mini
alive.
Me.
You're
No,
thinking
I
of
know.
Ra-
No, I thought the guy who originally played the Leprechaun later on then ended up passing
Warwick
away.
Davis?
Yeah.
Or Warwick Davis. or however
Warwick
you say his
Davis.
name.
Yeah.
Oh,
is
no,
Warwick
he was
Davis in
also
here?
one of the.
What's
yeah,
that?
he's
He's the goblin
the
teacher.
goblin.
I
no,
didn't realize
he's
that was
also the
him.
goblin at Green Goblin.
Yeah, you hit in his voice.
Mhm.
Like he has the.
I did not
yeah.
know that was him.
He's
'Cause
three
he's also on
characters.
Star Wars.
in that movie.
Oh, he's three different.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the chorus teacher. He's the feather levitator teacher.
Yep.
And one of the goblins at Green Gods.
No, he's still alive.
Is he?
Yeah, I didn't-
He recently did a, I don't even know that TV show, that British TV show that Ricky Gervais has with his friend Carl, where they just act like
Oh.
idiots. Warwick Davis was on that a
Um,
few times.
Oh.
Afterlife.
No, it's like just where Carl does like really stupid things, and Ricky Gervais is in like the green room, just like
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah.
see that
yeah.
one.
It's
So
funny.
I mean, overall, I'm into it. I can't wait to see more. We're not, like I said, we're not going to hit you with all 8 movies in 8 weeks. We will take a break.
Damn
So
it.
See, I was
So-
hoping for all 8 because I really like the movie.
I'm into it. I'm going to keep watching it. I'm sure, like maybe we'll sneak them in here.
We
and
watching it tonight.
there. Sure. Who does anyone have any ideas of? I mean, we could throw a couple topics out here. Like you could throw a couple out that you want to do. Maybe you, and then we'll kind of meet in the middle of one. Like, oh, that should be the one next week. So, you want to do something like you want to throw 2 or 3 topics out that you're interested in possibly doing?
I mean, I really do like the idea of like the Halloween type world.
Yeah. So we'll stay
Um,
in that realm for this month. So
For,
we'll,
yeah,
so
like the 31 days of Halloween
yeah.
type
So
thing.
so throw out your first maybe thing we can do. Unless someone has one, we can come back.
Hocus Pocus, Halloween
See,
Town.
I was
Hocus
thinking
Pocus?
those two. Like, I just didn't know like what range of things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if it was going to be more of the like safer, kid friendly.
No.
Well,
type
what if,
things,
what
but
if we
ones we
pick
all
what if
love.
we pick some of our like maybe 3 or 4 of our favorite Halloween based movies, horror or not, and then it's just, we just describe it and like talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean that's just what we can it could be anything.
So I
but-
mean, I think one of them this week. I kind of like the Hocus Pocus idea. I'm on board with that one. Like, do you have a movie or a theme that you would like to do?
I mean, my thing like for the more kid friendly thing is Halloween Town. I know they're showing that a lot on TV and stuff.
Mm,
I don't know what Halloween
Marnie.
Town is.
So it's a a Disney original.
Yep.
I think it's
Mm-hmm.
where she's kind of like Harry. Funny enough,
we doing more wizard shit? All right.
she's a
Yeah,
witch.
she's a witch.
But it's a little different because you know how
Okay.
you asked me the other day how if you're an old fart, or I don't know your exact phrase, but like,
Boomer.
can you leave, or like,
Oh.
can you become a wizard later
I
in
asked.
life?
Yeah, I asked if like
Oh.
if you're not 13 years old or hit that magical age, can you get a letter at 18 and be like, oh, you should come and kind of be like a first year student but be older?
So for Marnie, you hit 16, there's no magic. If you don't start practicing, goes away.
It goes away.
and her mother lived in Halloween Town and left that whole world behind her, but her grandmother still lives there, and every Halloween, she comes to visit them, and throughout the movie you find out why only on Halloween is she allowed that she ever sees her grandmother, and that's
Mhm.
because that's when like the line is thin between
Yeah.
Halloween Town and the normal world.
How about that? Remember me saying it last night? It was the veil is thinnest on Halloween.
Oh, the veil is the thinnest.
But there's just a lot of like really awesome characters. It's not
Mhm.
anything that's like necessarily scary, but it's
It's dynamic.
it's a great movie to watch and look at and be like, monsters and goblins and all that stuff have lives.
Mm-hmm. It's all in the same
outside
world, and it's all.
like they go to the dentist.
I love that part. Oh, wow.
They kind of date a little
taxi
bit
driver.
with it. Yeah, the taxi driver's great. This one ghost wants to get thinner, so they put him in one of those like really old, like I don't even know what they're
It's
called,
like a
but
like a sweat machine. Where
yeah,
they
it's
put
like a
you in
sauna
and
thing,
like a
but your head
personal
is the only thing
sauna.
that sticks out. And they leave him in too long, and he like
Mhm.
shrinks
Mhm.
and stuff.
It's pretty great.
It is a great movie.
Mhm.
And then they continued on with a bunch of movies for those.
So is that your pick?
Yeah, I'd definitely go Halloween Town.
All right. What would your pick be?
I love Hocus Pocus. I haven't seen it in years, and I've never seen Halloween Town, so I'd be okay with either of those.
Well, that those two are locked in. So how many weeks we have in this month?
If you want to take Hocus Pocus, you could take Hocus Pocus. I could figure something out.
Okay.
Something else
you
out.
want you want to take Hocus Pocus?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I'm not attached to it, so.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's fine. I don't need.
3, 4,
I
5.
thought we
so
were
there's
all
four.
agreeing
There's
on-
4 of us, and there's 5 weeks of Halloween. So we could each of us can pick one, and then we could collectively agree on.
Oh, I see what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking we had to all agree. If you want me to pick, I absolutely love Insidious.
That's a
Now,
good
are we
one.
doing the series, or are we just gonna do Insidious 1?
It does not matter to me. I think they're all really good.
Okay, I'm cool
Um,
with that series.
Yeah, I love Insidious.
maybe
That's my
we'll-
favorite horror movie of
Maybe
all
we'll
time.
do Insidious towards the last week. So we have the. I'm sorry, there is 4 weeks. So we would save yours for the 27th.
Okay.
So this way we could watch the entire series. Every one movie a weekend. I think there's like 3 or 4 movies. So for the 6th, for next Tuesday we'll do Halloween Town. For the 13th, we'll do Hocus Pocus.
Mhm.
For the 20th, my pick. And now, once again, we all do research on this movie, try to find fun facts or things you didn't know, stuff like that. And then because there's some things with the Harry Potter one I wanted to add, but I just didn't get a chance to. I know IMDb has some cool stuff like did you know things, or if you didn't know, like a cameraman is shot in this scene. So I wanted to add that stuff in, but we were going a little long, or like famous quotes from the movie.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that, keep in mind when you're watching it to kind of pull out. So my pick for the 20th, I'm wearing it. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Nice.
We're gonna do Rocky Horror Picture. I'm picking a
Nice.
musical, Nikolai.
And it's one of my least favorites.
So that's gonna be my.
I'll
pick.
have you know I played Magenta.
And I think Tim Curry looks attractive as a in makeup.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he looks good. So that'll be it. So we'll do Halloween Town on the 6th. That'll be next week. Then we'll do
Hocus
Hocus
Pocus.
Pocus. Then we'll do, which is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Then Rocky
Just
Horror
came out in
Picture Show.
4K.
did it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh. And then we'll do Rocky Horror Picture Show. And then we will tie up
Insidious.
on the 27th with the Insidious series. I think there's 4.
There is 4.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember I didn't see the last one.
They're all
The
good.
key
yeah,
one?
they're all good. The first one's the best, but they're all really good.
Yeah, they're they kind of build off the jump scare thing a lot, which is
Well, I mean, yeah.
not my favorite style. What's the guy who directs those? We always joke around like
James
oh,
Wan.
James, oh, it's a
It's
James
always a
Wan.
James Wan movie.
It's a James Wan movie. He builds off.
He was so good
He puts
in
all
the
of his
early days
he
with
puts
Saw,
all of his best stuff in
and then
the trailer.
he was kind of just like chopping block man, where it's like
Yeah.
movie, and it's like it's the same fucking movie, dude.
Oh,
Don't put a
this
new
is-
title
this is
on
better.
it.
This
Yeah,
is better
the
than Saw.
the storylines of Insidious are good, but the only problem I had with I didn't watch the third or fourth. I watched the first two. I like the second one, I think, better than the first. But the only reason I didn't like the first one annoyed me is because what he tends to do, James Wan, in his trailers, is he puts all of his best
the best
jumps
stuff.
in the trailer.
No, well, I would not blame James Wan on that. I would blame
The
all
editors.
Hollywood
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything across the board because that's what we live in now. I won't
Yeah.
watch a trailer anymore because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because everything's just like,
Right.
here's the
And it
best.
sucks because you want to see a trailer, like I should watch that movie.
Right.
Like so it's a double-edged sword. Like I would have never
It's
shown.
just to get the money.
I
Because
would have
then it's
never
like,
shown the fucking demon's face. I would have
oh,
left that in the
it's
movie.
that part is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I and my like just my like the spiritual take on it. Just like I love Insidious so much, but because I also like watch Truth Behind Illusion, I also like astral project. So I can see like the loopholes where it's like you can't get stuck in the astral realm, where it's like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I can
Mhm.
also like enjoy the hell out of that
And
movie.
I think this Insidious movie confuses people because they think they're part of the Conjuring universe because
They are.
Are they?
It's all one umbrella. I'm pretty sure now.
No, the Conjuring is different from because they're not
They're-
the same characters. They're not the Ed and Lorraine Warren.
No, I
And
know. But I
they're two-
swear they were.
But the
all
guy-
under an
the
the
umbrella
guy
now.
that plays
The guy who plays Ed Warren also
Yeah.
is the main guy in Insidious. So people
So
think
people
that they're
think it's
that
the
it's a
same
connected
universe.
and they're
it's not. No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's a completely
Because
different
the-
story.
Maybe it's the only reason I'm thinking that maybe is because all the boxes say like on Insidious is like the producers of The Conjuring and all
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah,
but
it's probably
all,
the
like,
same
It's
people,
the-
but it's a
the same-
different
it's the
different
same marketing,
universe.
but people think they're the same universe. and
They're not.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Because I think the older lady from the Insidious movies is cooler. I think
She's
she's more
awesome.
she's more exciting in movies, and she's awesome.
and in
horror
real
movies.
life,
Is she?
I got to meet her.
Yeah.
Oh my
She-
God.
she's really cool.
She's in an older movie that she did two versions of, how 1001 Maniacs or something like what that's called. The one where they
don't-
go and there's the ghost of the Confederate Army with Robert Englund. She's in that one too.
The Funhouse or
No,
whatever it is.
1001 Maniacs. The whole premise is hold on. I'll look it up right now.
I feel like I'm picturing the cover because I think Scream Factory re-released it, but I don't know.
We're hitting 3 hours.
Yeah, hold on. We're almost out of here.
That's so great. I love that.
1001 Maniacs. Well, this is the reboot, so we're getting our 2001 Maniacs, and it's pretty much about these people go to like a Confederate reenactment like Gettysburg, and then come across spirits and demons of Confederate soldiers, and
Oh, wow.
Robert
Ooh,
Englund
we should
is
watch that before we go to
Yeah, that's
Gettysburg.
cool.
yeah, Robert Englund is like the
think-
main.
I think I have it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I never watched it though.
All right, so we figured out what we're doing for the month. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for hanging out. Almost 3 hours. You're
Yes,
absolutely
wow.
amazing. If you hung out this whole time, you are a gem.
You probably
I'll
just
go. I'll do
watched-
my best of going through and actually pulling out timestamps of different things, and when we actually get into Harry Potter, because I'm sure.
Yeah, like,
we'll
I
put
don't
the
wanna
J.K.
watch-
Rowling disclaimer, and then we'll put the actual Harry Potter, and then we'll do a conclusion.
I thought we had a good conversation, though.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I think it was a
I-
fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
But for people that don't care, we'll
So,
just
They may
That's why I
just have
said
been
so.
listening tonight for Harry Potter,
Yeah.
and it's like
So we'll
What
put
time's
it.
Harry
We'll
Potter?
respect that, and we'll put a timestamp in
Yeah.
there.
What is it? You need to come visit me to see the Rocky Horror Show at Shocktoberfest. So they're doing a live action Rocky
Are they
Horror Show.
really?
Yeah.
They're doing a. Oh my god!
Send us the date.
I
of
love
when
a
that's
shadow
happening,
cast. I
and-
love a good shadow cast.
And we'll come up and see it. I love it.
I'll bring my own squirt gun and I'll
Why are you looking at me
spray
like
the
that?
actors.
You're coming.
I don't know about that.
I'll bring you a squirt gun and we can spray the actors.
It has Tim Curry. And it has Meatloaf.
Yeah, but that's not the thing you're going
No.
to see.
And Adam Lambert.
This is what we had
he
talked
did
about.
he did a great job in the remake.
really
I
did.
really hated the remake. But
I liked it.
Oh,
Wait.
I liked it.
I
What
hated the
remake? What are we
remake.
talking about now?
they pretty
you
much
know when
did the-
ABC does like those like
Grease.
they did
Oh,
Grease,
yeah,
so
yeah.
they did Rocky Horror Picture Show. and
Oh
it
well,
wasn't
Glee did it too.
I liked it. Oh yeah, Glee did a good job with it.
I
Yeah,
thought it was good.
I enjoyed the remake.
thought it was
I
good.
I
actually-
am also a theater snob who loves who loves Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I kind of avoid
understand.
that show.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I liked it.
I don't know
and
what
I thought
it is.
that we'll
I
get into it
just-
in the Rocky Horror episode, but I liked it, and I
I
thought
did too.
listen, you're never gonna beat the original casting, and you're never gonna beat the things that they were able to do in the movie that they couldn't do on TV.
Because this is like
but
because
the
the movie
casting
came
was
before the
done
show.
so well.
The
You're
movie became so we talked about this last on TBI, but it's like the movie came before the show. The movie came completely tanked, and then it was like The Room, where it just became like so bad that it became a cult thing.
Mhm.
And so then the shadow cast started, where they played the movie, and then they had the shadow cast in front,
Mhm.
and that's when they started adding all like the extras and like the callbacks and everything. And then it just like became a stage show.
Yeah.
So it's like it sucks because it came from like the cult background.
Yeah.
I don't know. It bothers me. It's like there's too much. Like I
It's
want to
a
go.
lot.
I want to see a
I love
show.
it.
I don't want to have to heckle. Like to me, like if I'm an actor on
As
stage,
an actor, yeah.
if you heckle me, you're done. Get out.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And then with that, it's like as playing Magenta, like people would just be like whore slut, and I was just kind of like,
Right,
yeah.
like, you go with
You
it.
go with
And
it.
I get it. I get
Mhm.
like
The
what
first-
it is,
the
but for
first
me,
ti-
it's just
The
too
first
much.
time
Yeah.
we went, I went to a shadow cast, and I was like, "What are we doing?"
It's fucking beautiful.
They're like, "Fucking throw the rice." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah," but we don't want to get too much into it. That'll be on
Yep,
the
that'll be
on
yep.
the 20th. We're way too long. The 16th, 17th, 18th of October, they're doing October. I don't. Yeah. Well, I know. I don't know. What day is the Getty's Jim Thorpe prison?
November.
That's November.
Wait, the Gettysburg.
No, I thought Andy told me it was in October. Oh no, Andy told me it was October
October
9th or 10th.
October 10th. Yeah, the October 10th
We have, like,
is
3
Jim,
things going
is
on,
Jim
so-
Thorpe. So the 10th is Jim Thorpe.
Uh-huh.
The 16th, 17th, 18th, I have nothing on my calendar as of right now. So we could probably go up to 17th. It's a Saturday.
Gettysburg is November 17th.
If you want the whole podcast to go, I can't go the 17th.
Or we can do the 18th on a Sunday. I'm cool with that.
I can go Sunday.
Then November, that's when we're doing the Jim Thorpe prison, right?
November. Okay.
November.
No,
October
October.
10th, we're doing the
The
Jim Thorpe prison. October 31st, we're doing Eastern State Pen.
Yes.
And then November 17th is when we're doing the Gettysburg.
we can't be doing November 17th. November 17th.
Somewhere in
Six-
November.
16th and 17th in Gettysburg.
16th and 17th is a Monday and Tuesday.
Okay,
Yeah.
the weekend before that.
The 13th, 14th.
Whatever
Wait,
it is, yeah.
Wait here, let me.
So we're gonna need a timestamp
We'll
for
be fine.
scheduling.
We'll be fine.
All right. We'll figure that out after
We'll
camera.
figure it out off camera.
Guys-
Thank you guys so much.
Guys,
Thank
you
you,
are
everybody.
amazing. Thank you. Make sure you click the link below.
Ain't no fake fans here tonight.
Get some t-shirts if you made it this far. Grab a t-shirt. If another thing too, if you are a top badge or a member badge on our Facebook group or page, so like Facebook does a thing where you earned a badge.
Sure.
If you are a badge member on any of our pages, send me a message, and you are going to get a code, a lifetime code for 10% off anything you order in the merch store or free shipping. Whatever one you want, we'll give you the code. So because we want to honor you guys for being fans. If you please, whatever your favorite show is, if you don't mind, if you go to the Facebook like page, you can go to invite all friends. You may have to do it 2 or 3 times, but invite people to the group, into the Facebook page or the group. The group you have to kind of do individually. It's more of a pain. But if you would do that, that'd be amazing. Just anything you guys can do to help spread the word would be fantastic. But if you have that badge, send me the code. Send me a message, and we'll get you the code for free shipping or 10% off. And when you do get your merchandise, please send us pictures of it in. We are still working on that project. That'll do it.
Plus, you're all beautiful, so show us your show us your t-shirts.
That'll do it for Not Cool in High School. We'll see you next week.
Bye.